Nice view. I like this. Hello, it's Mike Mendoza on a Monday. That's unusual, isn't it? James Whale away at the moment. I'm with you until midnight tonight, and a very, very good evening to you. This is Play 2. And I'm joined in the studio by Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello. I'm glad you managed to say Play 2 today. Unlike your mishap last week.
You missed it last week, actually, because I think one day last week you got it right every single time, which makes a very pleasant change. And we're also joined today by a brand new face and a brand new voice, and that's Fiona. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Well, it's like better looking than Matt. You've had a haircut. What's wrong with you?
What do you mean what's wrong with me?
Yeah. Oh, you can't see it properly on the camera.
I needed a haircut.
I know you did. But
I'm off to Italy on Thursday, and I can't go to Italy unless I'm, looking my best.
You want to be Irish, don't you?
Yes.
They're going to call you Sean, yes. Fair enough.
No sheep references, please.
We'll see what we can do. We're back to the New Zealand bit, aren't we? 60 million sheep, and what the hell do you do in the evenings? Great fun, anyway. Drink, and enjoy yourself as an All Black should do. Okay, lots of things to talk about today. Are you into pasta by any chance? You like pasta?
I don't mind pasta.
Yes? And you?
Yeah, I like a bit of pasta.
What are you going to do there?
Got a really annoying bit of...
Oh, is that what you're doing for it?
Bit of fluff, is it?
Bit of fluff.
That's his bit of fluff for the night, sorted. Apparently the cost of spaghetti has doubled in a year as prices rise as the fastest rate since 1988.
Who decides that?
I don't know. Cash-strapped families are facing the biggest squeeze on grocery budgets for almost 20 years as food inflation spirals to a record 21%. The cost of your shopping has just gone out of control, together with your council tax and everything else. What will the government do about it? Absolutely sod all. They don't give a damn about any of us.
I think that's strange and slightly comical that we're worried about the inflation of spaghetti.
Well, rice they were talking about, weren't they, a few months ago? I can't stand rice. I can't touch it. I hate it.
Really?
I hate rice. I'll have a bit of pasta, but I won't have, the whole long strands. I'll have the little bits.
Right, like the macaroni pasta.
Yeah, or the penne, as they're called. Little one, or shells. Well, alphabet. I like the alphabet one.
Alphabetic spaghetti rules.
Oh, yeah, that's the best way, I think, really. But those long ones, they get wrapped around your neck and everything, so you're trying to throw them over you, aren't you? Actually awful things as we go on. But I say the cost of shopping ridiculous. And plus, I've said this over and over again, I'll stick with this as well. The government, and it was Maggie Thatcher's government at the time, but this government did absolutely nothing about it. And that's the cost of all our utilities. Gas, electricity, water should never, ever have been sold off. That should always have stayed in the government domain, and they could control the prices.
Same with the phones.
Yeah, without a doubt. But, of course, we all wanted to get rich quick, which many people did. Probably before your time, both of you, I guess. You're far too young.
I remember the privatisation of BT and that. I mean, I was very, very young, but I don't think I missed it.
He was a wee lad.
I was a wee lad.
Were you a wee girl at the time?
Well, maybe a little bit older.
A little bit older.
When are we talking, 80s?
I don't know.
I think mid-80s for BT, wasn't it? Yeah.
I know, I just got back into the country when it all happened. When it all kicked off. Was it something Sid? What was Sid? Was the gas man? Was it Sid selling the gas shares or something? Everyone had a name. And it was saying... Buy Sid shares.
I can't
remember. What it was all about.
It's all Thatcher's fault.
Does anyone remember? Yeah, of course it was, yeah.
Blame everything on that.
I've lost all my bits of paper. Don't go away, folks. Talk to yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike spends an hour before the show cutting up bits of newspaper.
And you get really pissed off with me, don't you?
And leaving us with no news whatsoever in the newspapers, and then forgets his bits of paper.
I've forgotten my bit of paper, which gives me a certain bit of information I do need.
Yes, could that be 01243 55 60 60 on the phone, or you can email studio@playradiouk.com, or you can Skype us at play.radio.uk, and you can watch it all through the wonder of television on the internet at nttbs.com and click watch. Anyway, call this number. It's 0124... No, you did it right. Thanks very much indeed. It's my pleasure.
How do you know what I was looking for?
I'm psychic, Mike.
You, aren't you?
I've known you for a couple of weeks
You're
now.
my sidekick and a psychic.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know, it's 5 weeks. This is the 5th week.
Really?
Isn't time flown enjoying yourself?
Usually, yeah, but what happened there?
Usually. It was like a lifetime ago.
Time definitely flies when you're enjoying yourself.
Hey, listen, we got loads and loads and loads of people to talk to today. It's strange because today we're talking to a lot of blokes as guests.
Really?
Tomorrow it's all females, including one very controversial female. So I'm looking forward to that one. But today, I'm delighted to say, and if you look at my website, you can cheat and find out exactly who I got on. And that's Al Rantel. He's going to join us for the first time in 5 weeks. Al from KBC in California, who has been, as we said before, fairly ill. Thank goodness he's well on the road to recovery, apart from about 3 weeks ago when he fell over and broke his shoulder and broke his hip and everything else that goes with it. But he's actually working from home for the next couple of weeks, which would be great. We're going to be talking about motorhomes versus caravans. And also joining me about 10 o'clock is a guy called Stevie Kalenich, which surprised me that you didn't say to me, Mike, who's Stevie Kalenich? Because normally when I send him a list of people...
Well, the thing is, I toyed with the idea of asking you, but the problem is sometimes you go, who's this? And you go, who's that? What do you mean, who's that? You've not heard of them?
I haven't heard of him before.
No, okay then. Who's Steve Kalenich, Mike?
I'm pleased you asked me that one. He actually... Are you a fan of the Beach Boys?
Yes, I am actually.
Oh,
yeah.
good, he wrote the music.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Brian Wilson?
Not all of us. No, he wrote it with Brian Wilson, yeah.
Is he the guy that was in the film when Brian went crazy? You remember that film they made about Brian Wilson? Is he the other guy that didn't go crazy?
Ask him. Oh, he's a bit crazy, but ask him when he's on. And
Can
also,
I ask him on a scale of 1 to 10 how crazy Brian is?
he can tell you, don't worry.
Okay.
He was with him a few weeks ago because Brian was over here.
Oh, they're still good friends then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Brian doesn't know who he is, but it's...
Yeah. Brian doesn't know who he is, literally.
Actually, I've got a mother-in-law like that as well at the moment.
Have you?
Doesn't the faintest idea what day of the week it is.
Oh, that's so good though, isn't it?
Great conversations.
Because you could tell them it was a Saturday on a Wednesday, they would be none the wiser.
We doesn't know who I am either, which is even better.
It's a Saturday, shouldn't you be at the football? Bloody great idea.
But hold on, if I say I should be at the football, should you say, what's football?
Right.
You see? Didn't know about that. And also, we're going to finish off with yet another call to the States at 11 o'clock, and that's with Sandy Derva, otherwise known as Sandy Dirtbox to her friends. But
have you got clearance for all this expenditure for these international calls?
And I made sure that the boss had left by the time I gave you the list, you see.
Fair enough.
Plus, of course, between 11 and midnight, it is you and me on the phones. Not you two, it's you, listener. Me on the phones. It's literally unshielded, unguarded. In fact, just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to go kind of a bit more random and a bit more
bit
mental after 10:30 at night with the calls, don't we?
Yeah.
So you know, if you're a comedy zoo caller, after 10:30 is pretty much your time.
Yep, and the lines, of course, always stay open. 01243 55 60 60. In a moment, we were talking to Al Rantel at KBC in California. If you've noticed your shopping bill has increased enormously, then we'll talk about that as well. I'm delighted we got Fiona here as well. Only because it's something nice to look at. But there was a story I want to talk about as well. In fact, it's a letter to dear Deidre in The Sun yesterday. And what I'm going to do... Excuse me, something stuck in my throat then. What I'm going to do is talk about this letter a little bit later on and get both a male and female perspective on it. If you want to speak to Al Rantel, if you're an old fan of Al's from my old show, then give us a call, 01243 55 60 60. Also, you can Skype us, of course. That's play.radio.uk. Skype us, play.radio.uk. And, of course, watch us on the telly on nttbs.com and click the word watch. That's nttbs.com. And click on the word watch. And you'll be able to see us in living colour. And they're looking at the other screen at the moment. There's no one there at all. They have totally deserted me, which is absolutely wonderful. Kids of mums who use mobiles while pregnant are more likely to have behavioural problems, according to a new report. Who writes these reports? I wish I knew. Mothers who use handsets around their toddlers will cause the same difficulties. The study, the biggest of its kind, claims a mobile used regularly for more than 10 years can also increase the risk of brain tumours. Experts also warn heavy usage can seriously affect male fertility. Where the hell do you put your phones that you're going to affect your fertility? Some other experts urged a caution over the report. Patricia McKinney, who's a professor at the University of Leeds, called it a biased appraisal. I reckon she's probably employed by the phone companies. The review of 15 years of research into mobile phone health danger will be unveiled at the Radiation Research Trust conference, which begins in London today. It says kids exposed to phones prenatally and in early childhood show an 80% increase in behaviour problems. So how about that?
An American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget.
Actually, guys, doesn't it make you sick when you realise how proud Americans are of their flag and their nationality and everything about them is just so bloody American, isn't it?
It's
really?
terrible, isn't it?
It makes you sick.
Why can't they be like us British? Pessimistic, stiff upper lip.
Exactly. Let's speak to a man who's got a very stiff one. In fact, it is our very own Mr. Al Rantel at KBC in California. Al, hello to you.
Yes, oh my goodness, so good to talk to you again. Actually, I do have a stiff one, except it's my shoulder.
Oh,
I'm still working on that problem.
The other problem you got, you mean, yes.
But, you don't need anything to do radio. We just need your mouth, right?
So I've been told. And if you're a very oral person, then all is well.
That's right.
That's what I like to hear. Al, you've been through hell in the last year.
I'm telling you, I'm beginning to think that something has changed. The curse is following me around or something. I wound up falling down and breaking bones, but I am healing.
You are?
I am healing, doing well.
Are you doing your show from home at the moment?
Yes, I am indeed.
Are you not mobile at all?
I'm mobile, but driving is not permitted yet.
I'm sure. I must say,
because I simply don't have enough resilience in the other hand in case of an emergency. I'd be putting myself in danger. We don't want to do that. I've had enough bad luck.
Exactly. Let me tell the folks to this radio station that just a few weeks ago I was in San Diego and met up with Al.
Yeah.
And he's got the most fabulous, beautiful, stunning brand new car. Which
you like that? I can't even drive the darn thing. I haven't driven it in over a month. I wish you were here to drive it.
Exactly. It's a fabulous
I should
sports
bring
car.
it over there. I don't know. I don't know. Do you see Corvettes in the UK?
Not a lot. No, it's not that many Corvettes
around.
around.
They're probably too expensive.
No, they probably are.
We call them sort of redneck sports cars over here.
Oh, really? It's a beautiful car, but of course now you've broken your hip and your shoulder. It must be very difficult for you to get around.
And that's a kind of an awkward car to crawl in and out of when you're not fully mended.
Exactly. Al, the other thing that you've been very controversial in the past, and I mentioned to Matt, who's in the studio with me, I've got Matt and Fiona with me in the studio at the moment, and I said to Matt that you sort of made the news not so long ago because you called our Arab friends ragheads. Have you actually got away with that now?
No, I didn't do that.
Yes, you did.
No, I think you're referring to... the diaper comment that got misconstrued about the seat.
Diaper. Sorry, a diaper on their heads. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. No. I referred to that as what some people were saying, but I wasn't actually calling it that. No, and I had actually had a Sikh leader on my show, and we went over the discussion and played the tape, and we became friends. Actually.
Well, I mean, they really had a downer on you, didn't they, for a while?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they get very excited. I mean, you can't even make a comment that's taken out of context about people getting very politically correct and crazy.
I didn't realize that the Americans were so politically correct. We certainly are.
It's got much worse here than it used to be, but it's not quite as bad as it is over there, I don't think. But it's still, it's on the, it's moving in that direction.
Yeah. Have you got to be careful what you say on air these days?
Well, I mean, I'm not careful, but I certainly don't go out of my way to insult or call anybody names, they're hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes in humor, what is it, I think it was Sigmund Freud who said in all humor there's a victim. Sometimes when you make a humorous comment, some people don't have any sense of humor. And they become easily offended, and they think you're talking about them, or you're advocating violence against them, or you're advocating discrimination against, which is ridiculous.
I mean,
isn't there humor in all different things you see in the world?
You see, in the past, when you and I have been talking about for the last 5 years on a regular basis in my previous life, and hopefully this will continue in my new life here.
Right.
The difference between there and here is that we were so regulated on general sort of radio in this country that a lot of the stuff you came out with made me a bit nervous at times.
I know, because you're far more regulated. Fortunately, we're not. I mean, we're more regulated here by the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
In that if you rile enough people up, it could actually, that they can go after you in the marketplace, which is fair enough, by the way, much less so than by the government. We don't have as much government involvement here.
So it's your advertisers and those sponsors.
People can just not listen to your show, or they could go after advertisers, or they could the way it was. Well, the most famous case was the one where maybe you had news about it, was the Don Imus personality.
Yeah, that was a few months ago, wasn't it?
Right, back last year, I think it was last year actually, where he made the nappy-headed hose comment. In reference to a women's basketball team where most of the players are black, college team, and that there was nothing to do with the government, but that resulted in him losing his job. But of course now he's been hired by somebody else. So Go figure.
Well, it's a bit like Howard Stern, wasn't it? I mean, for so many years he was being booted out from one radio station to another, but he still sort of didn't change his act at all, and has now ended up with satellite radio.
Yeah, that's right. And that's how it should be. I mean, the marketplace decides, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Without a doubt.
I don't want a list of words or phrases you can't use by the government. I mean, we are to that extent. I mean, you can't say obscene things on the air. There are certain words you can't use, but that are obscene.
Well, do you remember, was it Carlin many years ago did an act, and he talked about the 7 words you can't use on radio?
That's right, who just died recently, yes, absolutely. That became very famous.
Well, the great thing, of course, about what we're doing here is we can use those 7 words without worrying.
Yeah, that's the great thing about, well, see, we have that issue even over here with satellite radio, for example. You can only do that on the pay networks.
Uh-huh.
The things that people pay for that are premium channels. Otherwise, you're still regulated in that regard, even on cable television.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You see, here, you don't have to pay to be told to fuck off. We can actually do it whenever we want.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. We used to call that freedom. And, of course, people have the freedom not to listen, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Or listen if they want to.
That's right. Are you watching us?
I understand that people have children and they don't want them exposed to certain things, but that's up to the consumer to be careful what they're putting into their home.
Yeah. Are you watching us on the internet as well, by the way?
No, I'm actually not. I should be.
You should be, without a doubt.
I should be. I could log on right now. I guess I could.
Yeah, that's
I was actually trying to speak to you on a better phone in a quieter part of the house, so it would sound better, which was not near my computer, unfortunately.
Oh, that's all right, no problem. But I just sent you the link, which is nttbs.com.
Yes.
Just click on the word watch and you can see exactly how wonderful I look these days.
That is amazing. You think this is the future of radio, do you?
I sincerely hope so, yes. I wouldn't be here otherwise, but
I may join you, who knows?
Well, you're very welcome, and I'd love to have you here. I mean, you and I always link up when we're in either country, so it'll be great.
I mean, it's amazing how technology has just changed communication permanently.
Yeah, yeah.
For example, I don't know what's happening over there, but over here, newspapers are dying in terms of advertising and circulation.
And the reason, the reason being
heavily impacted by the internet and such.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean the internet, of course, has had a tremendous effect on the world, and will continue to do so. And we'll go from strength to strength, without a doubt.
It'll only get bigger.
Yeah, without a doubt. Al, would you mind hanging on 2 seconds? We've got to do the usual thing. Have a quick break.
No, not at all.
And we will continue. We're talking a little bit about the American elections when we come back.
Oh yes, the famous woman that we have here now.
Oh yes, back after the break. Don't go away.
Play 2 UK headlines.
I forgot I've got to read the bloody headlines. 3 British Muslims have been found guilty of plotting to kill hundreds of people using bombs disguised as soft drinks at airports. 27-year-old Abdullah Ahmed Ali was the leader of an Al-Qaeda-style terror cell. Gordon Brown's been rallying ministers in Birmingham, telling them Britain will get stronger. The Prime Minister has been backed by the Foreign Secretary, David Miliband, as he pledged to confront the current economical challenges. London Stock Exchange finally swung into action about 15 minutes before closing. A computer glitch caused data to get stuck for around about 7 hours, leaving investors trading blind. And finally, Andy Murray's targeting a place in the history books ahead of tonight's clash with Roger Federer. The pair meet in the final of the US Open at around about 10 o'clock UK time.
Play 2 UK.
Oh yes, that's the California sound. As we're talking to Mr. Al Rantel, Al, of course, from KABC in California. A gentleman I've been talking to for over 5 years, you lucky old man. Which can't be bad. Al.
Oh, now I'm at my computer, by the way.
Are you? Can you see us?
Yes, but I'm on the Mike Mendoza Show website.
You're on the wrong one.
Oh, I can't go to Play Radio, Play 2 UK?
No, go to nttbs.com. Then you'll get us in living colour. Well, I think it's living anyway.
Say those letters again?
It's www. N for naughty.
Yes.
T for Tommy.
Yes.
T for Tommy.
Yes.
B for Boyd.
Yes.
And then S for show. .com.
Oh, I've got it now. Okay,
oh, you got it.
Go.
Now click the word.
I thought I had something wrong here.
Yeah, click on the word watch. Can you see us?
There we are.
Hi, Al. Everybody wave.
It'll come up in about 20 seconds, Al. We'll be waving.
You'll see the waving in a second. Also. See?
Look at that, it's popping right up.
So you don't get that.
Unbelievable.
You don't get that at
Oh,
KBC.
there you are now. Yes, how wonderful. Look at that.
Ah, you see.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So you don't get that at KBC.
No.
See, you're going to go on strike now until you get one.
That is brilliant.
So tell us, the American elections, what is going on?
Oh, there you're waving at me now. They're very nice. To both hands. There we go. Okay. Well, of course, all the focus is on this woman who came out of nowhere named Sarah Palin, who was the governor of Alaska. And nobody really knows who she is.
No, she's just come from nowhere, hasn't she?
No, she's come from nowhere, and the Republican establishment has fallen in love with her because they think she could win them the election.
Is that because she shoots mooses?
She's invigorated John McCain's campaign and invigorated John McCain's old personality. And but it's rather scary, isn't it, that the whole... I mean, this woman has no foreign policy experience. I mean, can you picture her as... You've seen her, I assume.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can you really picture her if John McCain got elected and died as the leader of the free world?
I always look at women as a shaggability, subject, really. And she doesn't look that type in a strange sort of way.
She looks like a naughty secretary.
Yeah, there's always something quite sexy about her, I suppose.
Well, she was a runner-up in Miss Alaska many years ago.
Oh, was she? No wonder she shoots mooses.
She was a beauty queen, yes.
Yeah, she's fine.
But I mean, women in high position in politics here is not as established as it is in your country.
Yeah.
Where you had, obviously Margaret Thatcher as your prime minister for so many years. But so she's a novelty in that regard, and she's the first woman to be, on vice presidential ticket in the Republican Party ever. But beyond that, we don't know much. She hasn't even given an interview yet.
Strange, isn't it? And wasn't it even more
speeches?
Wasn't it more strange that Hillary Clinton wasn't sort of put as the possible of a vice president against Obama?
Well, a lot of people think Obama may have made this horrible mistake by not picking her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because now this woman gets all the attention because that would not have happened had Hillary Clinton been Obama's running mate.
Yeah. I mean, in our newspapers here today, they say that they are putting Hillary Clinton up to make a lot of speeches and try and have a go at this woman.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That started today.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, this woman is a bizarre, the whole thing is bizarre. She's very, very conservative. And yet her daughter is, having a baby out of wedlock at 17. Now we're finding out that she tried to get certain books banned out of the library in Alaska when she was the mayor of a town. She's got some questionable things about her because she's come out of nowhere. And the idea that Americans are so fascinated with this woman, I think, speaks to the fact that so many people in this country are ignorant.
Yes, I'm sure.
She's people can relate to her. Well, I want someone smart running the country. I don't want some hockey mom I can relate to. I want someone smarter than me.
So is the media busy trying to pick up or dig up as much dirt as they can on any candidates?
They're busy trying to get an interview with her.
Yeah.
Because all she's done is make speeches and basically the same speech over and over again. And isn't it sad that we live in a country where a guy like Barack Obama, who is Princeton and, Columbia and Harvard educated, that is seen as a negative.
Yeah.
He doesn't relate to the average person. He's an elitist.
Oh, really? Despite the fact he's black?
In other words, since we're on internet radio, I guess, we could say he's not white trash enough for America.
Yeah. I'm going to say, despite the fact that he's black, he should be. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you remember, you and I were talking over a year ago when Obama first came to the fore, and I said almost immediately, there's a dead man walking.
Right, you did say that.
And then you asked me why, and I said because the psyche of the Americans, you're a load of fucking nutcases, and, someone's going to try and kill him at some time.
Well, that's a different issue. The fact that there could be, he could be more of a target because he's black, and obviously that adds a different element. But I'm talking about the fact that he's an intellectual.
Yeah.
When he went to Berlin and he gave that speech. You remember you and I talked about that.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And that was seen in America by a lot of middle-class people here as, he's too much a man of the world to be the American president. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and of course
it was viewed as a negative thing, that he's too worldly.
But then McCain sort of jumped.
We need some hayseed from Alaska. Someone who's never been from here to to a piece of cow shit.
Yeah, which most Americans, of course, have been in that situation. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and join you there.
But McCain,
I don't get it. But maybe the view that Americans are not as sophisticated as we would like to think we are is true.
Well, we know that 75 or 85% of Americans don't have passports.
I think it's about that would include Sarah Palin, who only got a passport last year. But that because she wanted to visit Alaska National Guard troops that were stationed in Kuwait. And so she had to get a passport.
But of course, McCain sort of jumped on the bandwagon very quickly, didn't he? A few months ago, when Obama was in Germany, saying, I'm at home doing the things for people at home. McCain
right.
sort of jet-setting it around the world.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
But it's but in a country where it's seen as positive. I mean, this woman has a degree in journalism from a minor university in the state of Idaho. And yet she is seen as more likable than Barack Obama, who is highly educated.
That's very strange, that. Do you want to say something? I've got Matt. Well, this is Matt, by the way.
Hello, Al. I spoke to you on the phone earlier.
Yes, Matt. How are you?
Yeah,
nice
I'm good. I'm good. I just wonder if is the general consensus in America that this is the wrong choice?
No, because the polls seem to show that the choice of this woman has lifted McCain, given him quite a bounce in the polls. Now, whether, what happens between now and November 4th, God knows, with debates and what have you. But, no, the consensus is that he hit a home run.
I mean, it strikes me as being sort of particularly American, quite insular, to back a woman who, like you say, got qualifications at a very small university and has only recently got a passport, so it's not like she's seen the world.
That's right.
So it strikes me that Americans don't.
She's from a state that has 500,000 people in it.
It kind of strikes me that Americans aren't interested in somebody who knows a bit about the world.
No, you're right, and I think it's horrible. I think it's absolutely a horrible indictment of the average American if that's the case. It really is, especially because the world we live in now is global. The economy is global. The issues are global. We were talking before about the internet changing everything. I mean, this idea that you can have someone who is so insulated from the rest of the world is leading the country is outrageous.
Well, what are the polls like? Is there a clear leader at the minute? I mean, if you had to put money on it,
the polls that have come out today have shown the race either tied or with McCain up 1 or 2 points.
Really?
If you had to put money on it, who would you say would get in?
Boy, that's a great question. That's a great question.
Don't tell him that.
By all rights, Obama should easily win because of the way things are going in the country and because of the fact that Republicans have been in charge for 8 years. But if I had to, I wouldn't put money on Obama. But, I think Mike Mendoza, hit it right. I think there's a lot of racism here. I'm thinking that Obama being black is costing him about 5 points in the polls.
Oh, really?
Oh, I do. In other words, I think there are white middle-class voters in certain parts of America that would vote for him if he weren't black.
So basically, Obama's got the black vote, McCain's got the female vote. It just so happens that there's more white females than there are black people.
Well, no, I don't think he's got the female vote. I think Obama has more females actually voting for him in the polls. But I think what he has are certain rural voters who normally would vote for the Democratic candidate, but don't like Obama because he's black.
You, of course, in the past have been a quite outspoken supporter of the Republicans and of Bush, of course, at the time. Are you still flying that flag for them, or have you changed your mind now?
No, I think they've done a horrible job running the country. John McCain admitted as much at his convention. Said Republicans have mismanaged the country, and he's a maverick, and she's a maverick, and they're going to change Washington. I don't believe that. I don't believe they're going to change Washington. I don't know that Washington can be changed by anybody. I think Washington is out of control and beyond the control of the people. I think it's become corrupted. But both parties have become corrupted. But that's how they're running. I mean, it's funny because the people in power are now running against power. It would be as if the Labor Party you know, it would be as if your Labor Party leader, Gordon Brown, were to run against everything Tony Blair did.
Well,
I don't know if he's doing that. Or
well,
not.
he is. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
That's exactly what's being done here.
So was it?
So you see how similar they are.
Excuse my American history, but is it the Fifth Amendment that says that you can only have 2 terms as president?
No, it's the 22nd Amendment, I think.
Right. Okay.
That was done back in the 1950s.
Why was that done? Because it strikes me as a stupid idea, and I think if that wasn't done, Clinton would still be in power, and you'd probably be one of the most successul world powers right now.
Well, it was done because it's an interesting story. It was done because the Republicans who were in control at the time that amendment was passed had lost 4 elections in a row to the Democrats when Franklin Roosevelt was president during World War II. And so the Republicans thought that they would never want that to happen again. So they came up with that idea that you can only serve 2 4-year terms.
Is that not the most stupid idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I think there are term limits. They're called elections.
Yeah.
You know, if someone's when the election comes up, people have the opportunity to kick someone out or re-vote for them, don't they?
Certainly. Do you think Clinton would be in power still?
Would he have won again in a 3rd term? Yeah, I think he probably would have.
See, I just think we'd be a lot better off with Clinton in power in the States.
You don't think you would have gone to war?
Well, you know, it doesn't matter whether we'd be better off or not. I mean, the people could at least choose, right?
Yeah, sure.
Whether they wanted to continue with something or not. You know, so we have a maximum here of 2 terms. But although a lot of people are thankful of that because God knows whether Bush could get reelected, I doubt it.
I wouldn't have thought so. Somehow.
His own party now. Do you know that his name wasn't mentioned at the Republican convention one time?
Well, you know, at the last general election here, they kept Blair away from the doorsteps.
Well, there you go. They're doing the same thing.
They were very embarrassed by it.
We actually do live in the same country.
Yes, we do at times, don't we? Yeah.
Mike,
you said call them by different names, but I think we've got a parallel universe.
Yeah.
Mike said a minute ago, do I think America would have gone to war if Clinton was in power? But then some might argue, do we think 9/11 would have even happened?
Well, you know, 9/11 was probably in the planning for a long time, according to the 9/11 report, the intelligence report. You know, whether they're right or not, who knows? But it appears as though the plot was considered and changed and hatched and and refined over months and months and months, if not years.
But who by?
Pardon me?
Who by? Because there are conspiracy theorists out there that just refuse to accept.
Yeah, of course there are.
And there are.
I mean, look. Well, Osama bin Laden and his lieutenants have admitted that they were the ones that hatched it and did it, and given information that people have been captured, that were involved deeply in the 9/11 plot, have admitted their involvement, and are very proud of it. So I don't believe in any of those conspiracy theories. So, but whether they would have carried it out as successfully with a different president in office, no one will ever know that. But I think they were planning it for a long time. Remember, they attacked the World Trade Center back in 1993, where they blew up the garage. They thought they were going to knock down the whole building. Instead, they blew up the garage. So the World Trade Center has been, had been in their sights for a long time.
Sure, but to me, there seems to be holes in the explanation or the aftermath of 9/11. For instance, was it World Trade Center 7 that held all the Enron stuff? That was announced that it had been collapsed. Building number 7 was announced it had been collapsed, and it could be seen visibly stood in the background, and then it collapsed a minute later.
Well, it did collapse. It collapsed as a result of the damage that was done to the whole area, according to there was an independent commission that investigated all of this stuff, and that's what they came up with. Conspiracy theorists will believe whatever they want, no matter what. But I think you can only go by one thing, and that is the Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda and his lieutenants who've been captured, some of them who are in custody, have all taken credit for and admitted what they did. They don't deny it. I mean, they don't say we didn't do that, someone else did it. They admit it, and they're proud of it.
Yeah, sure, but if they hadn't...
I don't know why anybody would not believe that.
Yeah, but come on, you get a lot of nutters who actually come forward and say they've committed a murder they haven't committed as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Al-Qaeda, if they hadn't planned it, would be all too happy to take the accolades for it. And for me, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but, you know, with the plane in the Pentagon, doesn't seem quite right. People announcing things had fallen down before they actually had, doesn't seem quite right. It's just all a bit...
Well, this always happens when you have a calamity. I mean, this always happens with eyewitness accounts that are different. And look, I mean, Al-Qaeda has been conducting terrorism since throughout the 80s and 90s. So I don't think this is nothing new. I mean, they attacked the Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia. They blew up embassies. They attacked the USS Cole while it was in Kuwait. They bombings in London. I mean, they blew up the attack in Madrid on the trains. I mean, this is not the Al-Qaeda attacking targets around the world is not new.
Al, we're going to have a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac as well, okay?
Yeah, they sound like two people sitting on a front porch, don't they?
She's mad and jealous.
I forgot this is the one that never actually moves, is it? Never mind. With Al Rantel, of course. Al in...
moaning about it again.
I'm always moaning about it because you keep saying, I must do it, I must change it.
No, I don't. You can have the top of the hour one. I'm not changing that one. We don't want to hear the Lambada every 20 minutes.
Of course you do. I want people to go mad on him. Anyway, Al Rantel's with us from KBC in California. Hello, Al.
I was going to say I enjoyed you reading those headlines earlier. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Maybe I should do the weather forecast. Let's see.
By the way, Al and I got matching horns.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, my horn is not with me.
Well, you've lost your horn?
It's at the station. By the way, currently it's cloudy in London and 57 degrees. I thought
57
I would
degrees?
chime in and do a headline weather forecast.
Well, that'll be Fahrenheit, won't it? Because you Americans do things back to
I'm
front.
sorry, Fahrenheit, yes. I don't have the Celsius.
Okay, well, next time we link up with you, we'll give the American forecast and you do the English one.
There you go.
And you can see how it's meant to be done.
Get the professionals. So let's have a quick chat about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. For the people in the UK and may not be aware of this is a massive mortgage giant company which together control £3 trillion worth of home loans, and they've gone to the wall, and apparently the US Treasury is going to rescue them, just as, of course, our government did with Northern Rock. Al, what's the latest over there? Are they supportive of the government?
Well, I mean, yeah, because the alternative is if these entities go under, we would have a calamity. The problem is, the government doesn't have any money. When they say the government is bailing them out, the government is just going further into debt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's backed by the government, but what is the government is just borrowing.
Yeah, it's your money as well, of course, as a taxpayer.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the taxpayers are going to bail them out because the alternative is a collapse and a calamity. Can you imagine when you consider how much money they hold in mortgages? And this is another sign that the housing market was completely out of control, unregulated, and they were making mortgages that people would not be able to pay back. And so now all of this paper has got to be, when you have all these foreclosures going on. And I know you have a similar sort of situation, I guess, not as bad going on over there, from what I hear.
Yeah, well, I think we're back to almost record repossessions at the moment. Yeah, it's not looking good.
You know what's going on, but this is so the taxpayer now is not only bailing out financial institutions and banks that have gone broke, but are now bailing out these quasi-government organizations, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, which were holding all of this paper, all of these loans. And the question is, the day of reckoning, Mike, comes one day when you have to ask who bails out the government.
Yeah.
I was going to say, isn't the most worrying thing who the government are borrowing off?
Right. Well, they're borrowing money that, they're selling notes to the Chinese and selling notes to, all kinds of investors all over the world. And that's driven down the price of the dollar. And every time they keep printing more money, the dollar is worth less and less. And that's, we've been going through that problem. But and so I don't, the economy has been entirely mismanaged over here, where they've basically kept printing money, mainly to finance the wars, and spending what? Just if you just look at Iraq alone, it's $10 billion every month.
Do you know that just the mere thought of America having to borrow money, I find absolutely amazing.
Well,
borrow money by the boatloads.
You're heavily in debt to China, aren't you?
Yeah.
They brought all your debts some years ago.
That's right. They have, they have a lot of it. I mean, the Japanese have a lot of it. A lot of countries have a lot of debts that they hold as investments, and they consider it. They consider it safe. They don't think the debt's going to be defaulted on. They're eventually going to get their money with interest. But the point is it really good public policy to be borrowing money from the Chinese and buying oil from the Arabs?
No, not when you're fighting with most of them on a day-to-day political basis.
Does that sound like the recipe for a secure country? I don't think so.
No. I mean, is it Fannie Mae and Bernie Mac? They're the two companies?
No, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
And Freddie Mac. It's my understanding, and I might be wrong, Al, that it's actually the banks in America that give out the mortgages, but these guys,
That's right.
These guys underwrite them all, don't they?
That's correct. That is absolutely correct. In other words, they underwrite them so that the banks will be more willing to make the mortgages because they know there's someone to guarantee them. So the whole idea was to encourage people to be able to, to make it easier for people to be able to buy their own home and to get loans and all of that, which is fine if you are lending properly. But if you're lending to people that can't afford to pay it back and they're going to go broke, just in order to make the mortgages so that people can make money and people can, make money on loans, which is what was going on. I mean, they were giving loans. I don't know if that was happening over there, but they were giving loans over here to people who didn't have to prove how much money they earned.
Yeah. No, we don't get that.
You could just state an amount and say, well, I make this much money, I can afford it. And in fact, people were lying and they were misstating their income and were just making up numbers.
What's the public reaction to the government having to bail out these companies?
Not surprised. I mean, I think people realize how bad the housing situation is here.
Yeah.
And they think the government bails everybody out anyway.
Are they in favor?
The day of reckoning, if you're a smarter person than that,
yeah.
You have to ask the question, what happens when the government can't bail anybody out anymore because the government's broke? If the government, for example, cannot continue to borrow money, if the day comes when they can't continue to print money and borrow money, then what?
Yeah.
When your obligations become so big that you just can't meet them, then what?
Why was it allowed that just two companies like this should be able to take on such a massive role?
Well, because as Matt said, because these are giant quasi-government organizations.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Now they've actually been taken over by the government, but that were designed to protect be the middle. To protect the banks when the banks lent the money.
Well, we had one of our major financial institutions go tits up here last year, Northern Rock.
Was that really a major financial institution here?
Well, the massive amount of mortgages.
It was quite a new bank, though, wasn't it? It was relatively
a lot of money, though. A hell of a lot of money was tied up there, and the taxpayer had to again shore that up, didn't they?
Right.
And a lot of people objected to that.
Always the person of last resort. You go to the taxpayer and say you're responsible for it now, and then they'll tell you, well, the alternative is if you let them collapse, you'll have a calamity. So you can't allow that. So you're in a no-win. So you have no choice. I mean, we have the three major American automakers over here that are in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if things don't improve if one of them doesn't come to the government and say, we'll be out of business and all these auto workers will be out of business and a great American automaker will be out of business if you don't lend us money.
Mm-hmm.
And Ford's one of them, isn't it?
Ford and General Motors and Chrysler, all three of them are not doing well.
Which is it's unbelievable that they're having problems, considering the amount of trade they have worldwide.
Well, it is, but you see, the problem is they made vehicles for the American market that now people don't want to buy because gasoline is so expensive by American standards.
Of course,
anyway.
yeah.
And now people don't want to buy their products anymore, so they have to, they're trying quickly to retool and build different cars and, build more efficient vehicles and change but you can't do that overnight.
Well, they should have been doing that for years.
Huge inventories of trucks and, big vehicles that people don't want, that they can't sell, and so they are, they're losing money.
What is the cost of fuel over there at the moment?
It's dropped to, I'd say the national average here now is around $3.70 a gallon.
So that's £1.50, or about $1.60.
Yeah, something like that. Well, no, I guess it would be, yeah, I guess it would be, no, it would be, well, it would be in pounds, I guess it would be, what, 180 maybe?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But how many litres are there in a gallon?
4. But there's American, yeah, but I think American litres is 5, isn't it? Your gallons are
I don't know
different
if it's exactly 4. I think it's maybe less than 4, around 4.
Yeah, yours.
So we'd pay about £1 a metre, and if we were in America, we'd pay about 40p a litre.
Yeah,
that's right.
Which is terrible.
So by your standards, it's cheap here.
But I mean, like, looking at General Motors and Ford, and especially the way Bush was, where he sort of, I'll say, denied global warming a few years ago. It's kind of their own fault that they weren't building more efficient cars in the first place.
Yeah, that's right. Well, because gasoline was relatively cheap, and everybody said, well, we can buy these very big cars and that we don't need. These giant, they call them SUVs. I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
And, we can ride around in those and get to 12 or 14 miles to the gallon. Waste gasoline and be very inefficient because we can afford it. And it's not a smart thing to have done, because especially when you are importing most of your oil. America now imports about 2/3 of its oil, because it uses so much compared to what it produces. And so when you're importing supplies of oil, especially when you're importing them from countries that might not be stable, to say the least.
It does help.
That's not smart either. All the things America is doing.
I was going to say, it does help.
Worry me because they show a country that is not acting smartly.
It does help when you invade them first, though, and it gives you a bit of an in with the fuel, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, and even then the price goes up.
Yeah.
How do you think America would fare?
Talk about a bad policy.
How do you think America would fare if imports were cut off? I mean, America imports about 76% of everything, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, because we consume so much. Oil is one of those things that you don't want to be, your energy supply, you don't want to be, if your energy supply got cut off, well, what happened to your economy? It would sink. So that's not smart policy.
No.
Al,
I don't know how much, I don't know if Britain imports any oil, or if it produces all of it.
Most of ours is imported. Majority of it.
Yeah, most of yours is imported.
Yeah, I mean, we're just as bad as you guys.
Yeah. Al, listen, mate, it's been great talking to you. We've got to move on, I'm afraid. But
well, it's all right, any time.
Well, what time is it there, by the way?
Here in Los Angeles now, it's about 5 minutes until 1 o'clock.
5 to 1. What time do you start your show?
Well, my evening show, I start at 7.
Right, so there's no way we're going to do our original link-up, are we?
Well, probably not.
No, that's a bit sad. Never mind.
We will have to move things around.
Yeah, get your audience. What time's your morning show?
11 o'clock in the morning, our time.
Okay, so maybe we can do your morning show. Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I always get confused with the time difference, but 11 o'clock in the morning, that would be, 7 p.m. there?
Yeah, I'll have to start 2 hours earlier, that's all.
You'll be lucky.
Al, it's been a pleasure, my friend. I do wish you well.
I wish you the same.
And
we'll talk.
Hopefully we speak to you soon.
Indeed.
All the best, Jim.
Cheers, Al.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks a lot, thank you. That's Rantel, KBC California. Say wave goodbye to her. Bye, Al. Bye, Al. He's going now. He's gone. Nice bloke, isn't he?
He is a nice bloke.
Very nice. Very knowledgeable. Doesn't matter what you push at him, he's got an answer. Which is absolutely great.
I thought I had a few answers there.
You were very good. You took over, you did.
Yeah, you know why? It's because we had a 20-minute conversation in the office earlier about that Fannie Mae and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, really?
Right.
The
information was fresh in one's brain, Mr. Mendoza.
Well done. At least you got a fresh brain. That's what I like to see. One person I've been supporting for a long, long time, strangely this may seem, is Ronnie Biggs. And I was trying to get him freed from prison. I tried a campaign to get him out of prison. I even tried a number 10 petition, which number 10 actually knocked into touch, wouldn't allow it to go on there. Although they have got a petition on there saying to keep him in, which I find rather strange.
Yeah, they should be batting both sides of the coin.
Exactly. We're going to get Michael Biggs on the programme this week as well, by the way, which is Ronnie's son. Michael's a regular guest on my show, so Michael will be telling us the latest on Ronnie Biggs, because I noticed in the paper today that Ronnie Biggs actually had to go in Huntley in jail. Really? Would you believe this week?
Good.
Which is great. Which is a bit of a worry when you sort of getting these stories continuously that Ronnie Biggs is so disabled he can't feed himself, can't scratch his nose, yet he can thump Ian Huntley.
Yeah, well, I think it doesn't matter what state you're in physically, you always want to thump Ian Huntley.
You want to hit, without a doubt.
I'm surprised it ended at a thump. I'm surprised Huntley's still alive, the dirty little shit.
But it's only as he was a cardboard box he hit him with, so it wasn't so terrible. The 79-year-old who uses a wheelchair hit him with a cardboard box.
Is that how old he is now?
79. Yeah. Why do you think he should be allowed out?
I think so.
He's done a few years, hasn't he?
Why do you think he's not been allowed out?
Well, he's paying for being on the run, isn't he?
Well, he's being paid. No, he's actually paying for having committed a crime against the Crown.
Yes, of course. But if he hadn't have gone on the run, he'd be well out of prison.
Oh, yeah.
So what he's doing effectively is paying for the fact that he's gone on the run. They're not going to just turn around and go, it's been 25 years, Ron. Don't worry about it. You've been on the long line. You know, it's like squatters' rights. You've been on the run long enough. We'll let you off. It was never going to happen.
Well, he had to serve a sentence. He knew he came back to serve a sentence, but not 36 years, which is what he was originally sentenced to.
36
If he committed that crime now, nowhere in the world would they have got 36 years.
Well, they'll have a job catching him with the police on the ground these days.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they just say, open the door and say, go, enjoy yourselves, without a doubt. Which reminds me of the old Pink Panther film where Peter Sellers is on the corner of outside a bank and there's a bank robbery going on. Remember that one? And the robber runs out the bank and he opens the door of the getaway car so the robber can get in there. And he was, thinking he was doing his duty as a nice policeman. Biggs apparently has been reported to the governor of Norwich Jail in Norfolk, because of course he's been in the high security prison up until about 3 months ago.
Well, so Huntley's not even in high security?
No.
You are kidding.
No, he's in Norwich. Huntley, of course, was the guy who murdered schoolgirl Jessica Chapman and Holly Wells, both 10 years of age. Biggs helped hold up a mail train in 1963 and escaped with more than 2.5 million. Although he didn't, of course. He was the getaway driver. He never even went on the train. Yeah. Which is another thing which is a bit strange.
I watched a documentary about his son, Michael, and I felt terribly sorry for him. Because
he's a lovely kid, actually.
It seemed to me that while his dad was on the run, he basically just had to follow him round to various parties and watch him get drunk and basically just sort of debilitate himself over a manner of years. And then I believe they became estranged at one point as well. And remembering very vaguely the documentary, I remember feeling quite sorry for him that his dad had put him through that.
Yeah, but Michael himself became quite a big TV star in Brazil.
Yeah, well, because...
And he's given all that up to come back with his father here and look after him over here.
That's right. But his dad got him into those areas, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but Mike's got his own band, but he does play around the UK, by the way, with his band.
But I just remember feeling terribly sorry for him, because there was somebody who, if his dad was in prison in this country, probably would have had more of a dad than he actually had.
Probably right.
In some respect.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. But I really believe he should be allowed out now.
Yeah.
I think the time has come.
It's like the Craze, I believe they should have been released. I think when you get to a point where you're infirm, you shouldn't be in prison.
Depends how infirm you are. And of course how false your infirmness is. Are you lying? Are you really swinging the lead about it?
I suppose.
Who was the guy who was one of the Guinness guy who had Alzheimer's and was released from prison and suddenly he was 100% but he's the only man ever to have recovered from Alzheimer's.
Really?
Well, they released him because he was in a really bad state.
I bet the prison force were kicking himself.
So it's not always that genuine, some of the stuff that comes across. Okay, I got a great story which I'm going to throw in before 9 o'clock because I want you both to think about this one. It says, a letter to Dear Deirdre. I want to know how you, and any listeners as well, by the way, our number's 01243 55 55 60 60. That's 01243 55 60 60. Email us, studio@playradiouk.com. Says, I love my partner and I can't give up the fantastic sex that I have with my lover. I'm 29, my partner's 30, and we've been together for 11 years. 3 years ago, he had a terrible car accident, and I didn't think he would pull through. He's finally recovered, but our sex life has gone out the window. He had 2 operations, was in hospital for 6 months, then rehab for 2 years. I was there throughout, and then one night I came back from the hospital, absolutely exhausted. I decided to call in to the pub for a drink. I met a guy, started talking, and we ended up sleeping together. I was horrified that next day because I'd never done anything like this before. In fact, I don't remember if I'd actually had sex with him. So I went back looking for the answers, and I ended up having the best sex of my life. We started a purely physical relationship, but he wants more, and I don't. My partner's been back at work for 3 months, and he's more his old self. But he doesn't realise how much the accident has changed him as a man. Sex used to be great with him because he's very well endowed. But now he uses it as a walking stick. No, I think that. But now we make love, and he's never properly hard. And only lasts about 5 minutes. It's all such a mess now, and I really don't know what to do to put things back to how they used to be.
Told you he was dirty.
What?
Yeah.
No, I'm just wondering.
She doesn't deserve that partner, and to say she'd never thought of doing it before is a lie. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
So you reckon that she is not worth
Well, actually, what I reckon is one of the co-editors wrote that, just because they had some pages to go over.
It's a good story, though, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I will comment as if it is a serious story when we come back.
Thank you very much indeed. And would you comment as well a bit later on?
I certainly will.
I'd like both a male and female perspective on this, and of course you get the Mendoza version as well a bit later on. We got the break coming up at 9 o'clock. When we come back, we open the phone lines. If you were in that situation, by the way, what would you advise this poor woman? If you don't think it's true. 01243 55 66. I think she's just a slapper. I really. Oh, yeah. 01243 55 60 60. Quick break and I'll be back. Don't go away. Okay, welcome back at 4 minutes past 9. My name is Mike Mendoza. I'm with you until midnight tonight. Listening to Play 2. Our number, of course, is 01243 55 60 60. That's 01243 55 60 60. Email us, studio@playradiouk.com. And, of course, you can Skype us. We do love those Skype calls. Play.radio.uk. You can even watch us in living colour on www.nttbs.com and click on the word watch. Okay, click on the word watch. www.nttbs.com. And I mentioned before about the gentleman from the Guinness trial who went to prison, and that was Ernest Saunders. Thank you, Chris, for giving us that a bit of information. So now we know the the answer to that one. Ernest Saunders. Strange how he actually recovered from Alzheimer's. Okay, I'm going to toss a coin now. Heads or tails? Fiona?
Tails.
You're right. You got the first to comment on this woman. I bedded a stranger as my guy laid injured in hospital.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel sorry for her. Well, I do.
Slapper.
Why?
That's what I said. I said slapper. That's exactly what I said. She must be a slapper. She must have gone looking for it.
No, of course she didn't
Yes,
go
she did.
looking
She did.
for it.
She went back to the pub the next day.
You see, I do think it's one of those things that you really, sort of worry about. That, if things change between you and your partner, if your partner was to become ill or infirm, or, you do, it does...
You worry about where you're going to get laid. Is that what it is?
No, I think you
So I
worry...
like the way Fiona's explaining this. Good.
No, I think you worry about whether you actually would have the courage to just carry on, or, bearing in mind life isn't a rehearsal, and a woman has needs too.
Man, woman's got needs.
Yep, Faith will sort those out for you.
Yep.
So...
There's other ways of sorting out your needs without going to the pub and picking up the first bloke you see and shagging him, surely.
Okay, but obviously she had needs that needed to be met as well, and she found it okay in the pub, which may not necessarily be the best way of going about it.
But her excuse for going back to the pub was that she got so drunk she can't remember if she had sex or not. Surely people remember if they've had sex or not. If it was that good, you remember it, surely.
No comment.
And so have you ever been drunk and not known you've done it?
Very possibly.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
but you wouldn't know, would you? You wouldn't know if you didn't know now.
I think that's the good answer to that one, actually.
The thing for me about this woman is a cop-out. I think she was probably cheating and sleeping around with people quite near the beginning of his accident and recovery, but it's only now that she's felt guilty enough, because he's now actually sort of getting back to his normal self. It's only now she's felt guilty enough to actually declare anonymously in a bloody tabloid newspaper that she decided after 2 years of sticking by him and covering his recovery, I decided then I would sleep. Now, if you'd stuck by him that long, then you wouldn't just suddenly turn round and go, 2 years, I've given it a good shot, I'm off to shag someone else.
No, but that's not what she did.
Well,
so you're saying
pretty
that
much.
because she's a woman and because she was unfaithful, therefore she's a slapper.
Yeah, and if it was
Yep,
the other way
you've got
round,
it in one,
the
yep.
other way round, the guy would be
What?
Yeah, if a
A
woman's a
slapper.
slapper, what's a bloke? A bloke's not a slapper, is he?
a man whore.
A man whore. Yeah, true. But she says she had the best sex of her life, so therefore sex has taken over her life, hasn't it, really? She's obviously got a problem. If she's with someone for the sex rather than the relationship...
Yeah, I suppose you could look at it that way. Maybe she's got a sex addiction, although I don't believe that exists.
Yeah, we've got that phone number to try as well, addicted to sex.
Well, given her phone number.
Yeah, we'll try. Oh, she is. Well, the answer that Deidre has given is... You ready for this one? You've come through a testing time together, so now give your relationship a proper chance. You were at low ebb when you met your lover, but now you've realised he's not really the man for you, even if the sex is good. No, Deidre just sounded like that, didn't you? Call it a day and make a clean break. Your partner needs lots of reassurances that he's still the man he used to be. Good sex is about confidence, more than measurements. And he'll start to give together. He'll start to last longer once you're having sex more regularly. My advice lines today will help you both sort this out. Love, Deirdre. I'm a lady, you know.
Do you think Deidre actually is a lady?
Well, there's the photograph of her, and I do have my doubts, actually. That's what Deirdre actually looks like. Should we show folks? That's Deirdre. Is that a woman or... She's got the hair of a woman.
Well, but it might just be a model.
It could be, yeah. Yeah. It doesn't say they're posed by a model, does it? Anyway, we're going to try those... We'll try some of those numbers a bit later on, and just get an idea of... Hello. Yes.
We have John online too.
We've got John online too. John's not the bloke she was shagging in the pub.
We'll find out in a minute.
Are you there, John?
She's a slapper.
Do you know her then?
Mate, no, I don't. Actually, she's not a slapper at all. It's just a load of made-up horse shit.
I think most of the stuff in these papers are the ugly aunts and ugly aunts.
Would anybody really write to a national newspaper with that kind of stuff?
I think you're right. Yeah.
They go on Jeremy Kyle, though, don't they?
Yeah, they get paid to go on Jeremy Kyle.
It's just salacious gossip, that's all that is.
Is it? But it makes it... I mean, it fills up a newspaper, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. That's all it's there for. I don't believe MDs.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do on this programme now. We'd like as many people with a problem to let us know, and we'll try and answer that problem for you. And you can make up whatever you want to make up. Do you want to make something up, John?
Make something up, right, okay. Been with my wife now for 14 years. Never been with anybody else. Should I go and try it?
Did you just make that up?
And you wouldn't try it, did you say?
No, I said, I've been with my wife for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go and try someone else now?
Oh, should you go and try someone else?
Yeah.
It depends whether you've got the desire to try somebody else. Have you still got any strength left?
I hope she's not listening.
No, she's not listening.
Well, I'll tell you something. Sometime
she's not listening, and I don't have the strength left either.
No, that's the problem. You see, my wife told me a long time ago that I should be a little bit more affectionate, so I got myself a girlfriend, and I found it works very well, actually. Mind you, I haven't spoken to my wife in 18 months because I don't like to interrupt her. That's the
problem. Well, you get this rehearsed or something? You got this written down?
The old ones are the best.
Mind you know what, John? When a man steals your wife, there's no better revenge than actually let him keep her. Do you realise that?
He's pulled out of that, isn't he?
But thank you for letting me get rid of all my old jokes.
Your talents are wasted, Mike.
I know. I've been telling people that for years.
Yeah, you should be touring Butlins.
on a sort of serious point, I sort of caught part of the interview you done with Rantel. How's he doing? Because what happens is, actually, Matt can help with this in a minute.
Yeah, well,
what happens is occasionally my FM transmitter between my phone, well, it keeps going on to buffering.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the phone goes on to buffer because it starts to buffer, and I don't get the signal from the station for sometimes about 5 minutes at a time. So I missed quite a lot of the conversation you had with Al.
That's a shame. Have you heard?
I just wondered. I haven't heard them since you were on the old station and you talked to me. I know he got cancer.
Yeah, that's right. Well, his cancer, thank God, is I think 99% cured because in America they actually inject straight into where the cancer cells are. The only problem is it's given him brittle bones, which he wasn't aware of until about 5 or 6 weeks ago, when he fell over and broke his hip in 2 places and totally smashed his shoulder. Yeah, so that's the side effect of the cure. Unfortunately, it's given him brittle bones.
Well, it was good to hear the guy, but as I say, right. So Matt, you can help me with this, mate.
Okay.
Right, I connect the Nokia up with the FM transmitter.
Yeah.
Take it through the usual channels. I get sometimes I can get up to half an hour. Sometimes I only get 10 minutes of it, and then it goes on to buffering.
Is this when you're driving around?
Well, I can be sitting still or driving around. It doesn't make any difference.
It's probably just due to the 3G connection, to be honest with you. Do you know which stream you're listening to? Is it the 26 kilobyte stream?
No, it's 72 kilobytes.
You want to be looking for the 26 one. It is on there if you go to playradiouk.com/listen.
Yeah, but that's on the computer, isn't it?
No, you should be able to do that on your phone as well.
But see, right, there's something weird going on then. Because when I got the phone to start with, it's a Nokia N95, yeah?
Yeah.
When I got the phone to start with, there's no internet. You can go to the website, and if you click on listen, it doesn't work.
Right, okay.
So what you've got to do is you've got to go to the Nokia website, you've got to download an application called Internet Radio. You download it, you put it into the phone.
Right.
And then when you connect up to the radio station, you connect up through the Nokia application which you downloaded.
And it's only given...
You can't actually click on the banner on the Play 2 UK website.
Okay, so, and it's only offering you the 72 kilobit stream?
It's only offering the 72, yeah.
Something I might have to look into then, mate, but there is a 26 kilobit stream, and that might actually solve the problem.
I've heard you mention that before, actually. I heard you mention that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, I need to try and get on and find out just how I do that.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it for you.
As far as I'm led to believe, this is the only way to connect to the internet with my phone when I'm out in the taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got to do it through this Nokia program, which I downloaded from the Nokia website.
John, put what you've just told me into an email. Email it to Matt at playradiouk.com. And that means
I can get the website up on my phone.
What I'm saying is email me the problem you've got, and what you do and what you downloaded and stuff. Put it all in an email, then I can pass that on to our tech guys, and we can try and get a solution for you.
Okay, fair enough. Right, that's fair enough, Matt, okay.
I'm afraid I can't answer it off the top of my head right now, mate.
No, it's okay. I just wonder, as I say, some nights I'll sit here, be sitting for quite long periods around the back of the airport here. I sit there for 40 minutes listening to the show and there's no problem.
Well, it might be something to do with the airport then.
Tonight I only got 10 minutes.
Right, I don't know...
10 past 8, I tuned in at 8 o'clock, 10 past 8 I went on to buffering. I buffered for about 2 or 3 minutes, came back on for about 5 minutes, went back on to buffering for another 2 or 3 minutes.
That's strange.
As a problem, as part of the, when the interview when Mike was talking to Al, I missed half the conversation because he kept going on to buffering.
Well, I don't...
But the problem is, when it goes on to buffering and the FM transmitter doesn't pick anything up, it switches itself off.
That's right, yeah, but I don't know if there might be something in planes affecting it or air traffic control. I have absolutely no idea, but that could have something to do with it as well. But if you put some stuff in an email, I'll see what I can do.
Right, Matt. Okay, I'll do that.
John?
Yeah, mate.
I'm going to leave you with a thought.
Here we go again. Right, go on.
All right, don't forget, man is incomplete until he's married. And then he's finished. Catch you later.
Cheers, mate.
Bye for now. Thank you for that. That's John. If you want to call in, it's 01243 55 60 60. It's a cab driver, isn't he? How about that? Called us a few weeks ago, didn't he? Didn't he? I called us a few weeks ago, didn't he? Right, we're going to try those numbers a bit later on, aren't we? Later. Yeah. I'm talking like a Cockney now. I suddenly turned Cockney. You know.
It's about time you found yourself a regional accent.
Because you didn't like my northern accent. You thought they were awful.
It's crap.
Charming, thank you.
Even your Deidre accent was rubbish.
Which Deidre accent?
Dear reader.
But nobody knows.
Dear reader. It sounds like a bad Steve Allen doing Margaret Thatcher.
But no one knows what Deidre sounds like, you see.
Well, no, I mean, does Deidre even exist?
Well, that's what Fiona said. Is it a posed photograph in there? Is it a model pretending to be a Deirdre?
It could be.
What should she actually be looking at?
Where's the photo of Deirdre?
You must see a Deirdre photograph. Actually, I need to get those numbers anyway, so we should try one and we'll have a bit of a laugh with it.
Dear Deirdre, you see...
See, there's Deirdre.
I think it's Delia Smith under a different name.
Or a different wig.
Yeah, she doesn't look like a Deirdre, though, does she?
No, she looks like a Jan.
But Dear Jan wouldn't sound as good, was it?
No.
There is a Dear Jan, isn't there? I think
it's the photo casebook that gets me. I won't tell Alison that John fancies me. She'll only get wound up. I bet he was trying it on and she just doesn't want to admit it. But they look hot. And they're in an embrace. I mean, I find it strange that in all Deirdre's photo casebooks, all the women that are having these problems are all in underwear hugging each other.
Great, isn't it?
I have no idea what world she comes from. I would like to go there.
Depends who writes into her, of course.
Yes,
or is it her imagination? Would you like me to do the Deirdre answer for you? Hello, darling.
Oh,
I'm a lady.
Yeah, exactly. Think it's coming. I'm a lady, you know. I can do my Deirdre for you, don't worry. Not a problem. Anyway, our number is 01243 55 60 60. Love to hear from you this morning, or this evening as well. And also our studio number is studio@playradiouk.com. Our Skype is play.radio.uk. And on the telly, www.nttbs.com, and click on the word watch. Wasn't that jolly? Didn't I do that good? I wanted to go into pantomime this year. No, you didn't. Yes, I did.
Oh my
what?
Welcome to Play Radio's local service.
Well,
talk about pushing the bounds of internet radio, Mike. We've got an argument about motorhomes versus caravans next.
Oh, I forgot about that. Where's my sheet gone?
I've got one here.
Oh, God, I'm glad you got the sheet.
How are you going to pitch that so that it's exciting? I mean, it's hardly Amir Khan versus that other guy the other night, is it?
Oh, God, I was so pleased to see Amir Khan get knocked on.
Why?
I wanted to see him get thrashed.
Why?
I just did. I think he's a smug shit.
But that's what most sport... I mean, you look at Formula 1 drivers, boxers, they have to be. They have to be confident and smug.
He's over-the-top smug and what have you.
It's not as bad as Prince Nazim Hamid.
Well, they were very similar. I think I put the two together. They're both exactly the same.
Together.
I do put the two together, yeah.
I'd put Amir Khan slightly above Nazim.
Would you?
Yeah.
No, I think the good old Prince. I thought. I was thrilled when he got knocked in his backside as well. But
yeah,
I thought he had
cartwheels.
Good personality. I thought it was good seeing him.
No, he's an idiot
that was different.
Brought a £1 million McLaren road car.
He smashed up, didn't he?
Yeah, and almost killed a few people.
Yeah.
Ended up in jail.
Exactly. Quite right too.
Yeah.
And that probably happened to the other guy as well.
Well, Amir?
Yeah.
I don't think
didn't
so.
Didn't he buy some stupid car and crash it as well straight away?
I'm not really sure.
I think he did.
He may well have done. But hey, I mean, you look at boxers through history. Look at Frank Bruno now. The way he's ended up. Look at what happened to Mike Tyson, what he did, or was sort of alleged to have done and served time for. It just seems to be within that. Well, he was found guilty, but there was a lot of mitigating circumstances came out in the wash.
Yeah. The girl said to him, "Don't touch me."
Yeah.
In a Deidre voice. And he still went off and did it.
Yeah.
Which is rape in anyone's book, of course, isn't it? Let me come out to your room for the night. Don't touch me, though. I'll take my knickers off, but don't do nothing.
Yeah. I'm just going to sit here on top of you and gyrate slowly, but don't do anything.
Exactly. So therefore it's going to be okay. But there again, I've had several arguments with people about the expression, she's asking for it, and I've had a judge saying she was asking for it, and no woman is asking for it at all.
Well, I've met one or two that have asked me for it.
Did you give it to them?
Oh, yes. Who am I to take away their natural needs?
I bet that you got them there and they said, "Oh, where's your cock ring?" And you said, "Oh, I don't need one, darling."
Yeah, great for sprinters. Marathon runners need not apply.
Thank you very much.
Play 2 UK.
Click the word watch. That's www.nttbs.com and click on the word watch. In a moment we're going to be talking, as Matt let out the bag there, we're going to be talking about motorhomes and caravans, because I got a hell of a downer on caravans, as most of you know. I've got my stickers, ban the van. The biggest pain in the arse that's ever hit the road is whoever invented caravans should have been shot at birth. It may never have happened. Nothing worse than going, certainly through the west country of this great country of ours, a great nation, going up into hills and down vales, being stuck behind a horrible, slow snail, otherwise known as a caravan, normally being pulled by some 90-year-old who doesn't know any better, shouldn't be driving in the first place. But against that, you've got motorhomes, which is a bit like a caravan with an engine inside. And I did try one out a couple of years ago, and I must say, what a difference a day makes, because they are absolutely fantastic. I know you've got a thing about big motorhomes, haven't you?
I love the big gas-guzzling American-style Winnebagos that when you park it up, you push a button and they extend and suddenly there's two floors. Oh, it's just amazing machines. And
apparently motorhomes are shattering records. Sales are soaring while the motorhomes and their drivers are becoming very different animals than their predecessors. Some of them got quite big engines in as well. And tell us something about this. Delighted to say I'm being joined by a man who knows all about motorhomes, and that's John Demere. John, welcome to you.
And good evening to you.
Nice to hear from you again. I haven't spoken to you for years.
No, it's been a long time.
It has.
And thank you for your compliments about motorhomes. Very kind of you.
Well, Motorhome Information Service is the company that you organise, you and your good lady. And why would you say motorhomes are sort of the thing to use at the moment, as opposed to a caravan?
Well, I'm not going to comment on caravans. If I get into that debate with you, we'll be here for hours. Best I don't. But motorhomes, I think the reason that people love them is because they do have a certain sort of charisma about them, as you were saying. People like having them. There's a psychological added value. I've got a motorhome. It's a second home on wheels, a country home on wheels, isn't it? So you've got that advantage. I think that's what people want.
And you can go anywhere with it, of course, as well.
And you can go anywhere in this country, anytime you like, whenever you want. And indeed, of course, you can go abroad. I mean, the thing is, what we're finding this year is, if you talk to the camping and caravanning club or the caravan club, they'll both tell you their sites are as busy as they've ever been. Notwithstanding all this nasty weather we've had, they're busy. The membership's going up, motorhome membership's going up. So clearly, there's something about motorhomes that is attracting a lot of people.
And you can take a motorhome, of course, for an ordinary caravan site, can't you?
Oh yes, there's no prejudice at all. You can take a motorhome, and indeed, many sites now have what's called hard standing, on concrete bases, so you don't have to be on the grass with it. And most of them have got hookups and all sort of thing. And many sites now have direct water refills and waste disposal. So you literally drive your van up to the disposal point for motor caravans, and away it goes. And that's a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah, Matt, you want to ask?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking about the whole motorhome caravan debate, and a motorhome is something you go out and buy specifically. It's like you've gone out and brought a car. If you had your own car, you'd go out and buy one, whereas a caravan's like a cardboard box on wheels that you can't really afford a motorhome, so you just stick it on the back of your transit van. And I think that's where the appeal is, because the caravans are so sort of flimsy, naff add-on sort of bits and bobs to your car, whereas an actual motorhome itself is something you've actually gone out and consciously brought. The caravan you could probably pick up just for the odd holiday here and there.
And a motorhome you can be proud of, more so than a caravan.
You can be proud of it. I mean, to be fair to my caravan colleagues, because I expect a few of your listeners will be now seething over their soup.
Oh, don't be fair to them.
They're just wankers, don't worry about that. Anyone who drives a caravan is...
Anyway, there are a lot of people who love caravans and really love everything they offer, and, that's it. But yes, I would agree with you in principle, is I think you are buying a holiday if you buy a caravan, whereas the motorhome, you're buying a life.
Mm.
And I think that's what you're doing, because you can do, and most of them do. I mean, the last survey that I saw was something about 38 nights a year at least away, and that's a lot of weekends, and as well as your annual holiday.
Yeah.
And what's happening is also motorhomes are becoming much more Catholic with a small c in what they offer, because you've got, as your listeners might be interested in, there's this new, it's called Pulse by a company called Automaker, and that is I call it a sort of crossover camper, which sounds terrible really. What I mean is it's a vehicle you could use as a second car if you like, and take the family to school and drive around the town quite easily, but at the same time it's got, and you fit it out with sort of an elevating roof, and you can put kids in the roof if you want to, and it's got a kitchen unit and the rest of it. It's a real sort of what I'd call a camper utility vehicle. Sounds good. And it's not going to be expensive to run either. It's not going to be that expensive to buy, and it's going to be a diesel, and it'll be quite economical. These vehicles today are getting more and more frugal by the minute.
But as Matt said before, he's into the Winnebago type thing. We don't do that type of thing here, do we?
Well, there are one or two exceptional people who sort of individually sort of custom make vans who do a slide out, but it's not common. It's not been popular here apart from the Americans, and it's sort of very exclusive. But there are one or two European manufacturers like Clue who make something called a Clue Liner, which is just as big as an American, and it's got a slide-out compartment and so on. I think it has a certain sort of feel about it, but I always think with the big Americans, with all due respect to Matt, it's a bit like driving a coach, really.
It is. Well, America's the country for it. I wouldn't have them in this country, because we've only got a small country, whereas America, you could pretty much spend your whole life going around it in one of those.
As they do.
Yeah.
As they do. They do a lot of it. I mean, they sort of keep on saying... They spend a fortune on promoting motorhomes, as they call them over there, and they really do go for it in a big way, and it's a very big market.
As a matter of interest, John, sorry, just to interrupt you there, is the price of one of these things prohibitive to the average man in the street?
I'm always amazed. I mean, they're not cheap. Don't let me get you wrong. Get me wrong. The budget, even sort of an entry-level budget price, is still going to set you back sort of 25, 30 grand, and then you can spend way beyond that. But money doesn't seem to be a problem. Well, a lot of them do, to be fair. A lot of motorhomes do, is they start with a second-hand van, which isn't that expensive. They just build up gradually. And there's always this temptation. It's a bit like, back to my psychological point, people really value these motorhomes, and so they're aspirational. You always want to go up to the next stage, so you can go up and you can buy some. And this year particularly, there's a lot of very good value in the bigger motorhomes, which are offering a lot of extras on it. And of course, we're going green in motorhoming too. Not just are we getting more frugal engines in there, but we got solar panels now. One manufacturer, Auto Trail, is now putting in a standard in their top end range, and another one, Swift, is certainly saying no problem across their ranges. You can plug in a solar panel, which is going to help plug the leisure lights and all this sort of thing. So we are getting much greener.
Fantastic, and I said the price is fairly high if you're going for a brand new one.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. I wouldn't pretend it is. But
if you look at eBay, sorry, just because I'm an eBay manic. But you can pick one up 4 or 6 berth for between £4,000 and £6,000.
Yeah,
you're probably falling to bits, but I mean it's a starter.
But if you start there, that's no problem at all, and you start to work your way up from there. There are a lot of very good vans, especially around at the moment. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Okay, we're doing pretty well sales-wise, but like everybody else, we're not going to escape what's going on. And at the moment, there's some damn good bargains to be had.
Okay, excellent. And of course they look good as well inside, which is great.
They are now fantastic. They're getting better all the time, and they're really refined, and I think they're very comfortable too. Somebody was sort of saying, well, you just put a new some bed fabrics in or something, or the lounge fabrics, and the actual seating itself, the cushioning, is now so good that it doesn't sort of, like in the old days, it was gradually after about 10 years, it used to get quite flat really, but these days they don't even do that.
Without trying to sort of on your business, one of my neighbours went out and bought the most magnificent motorhome just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic, really is an absolute beauty. I think it's an 8-berth, and he got it for half the price he would pay in this country by going over to Germany for it.
Well, there are those who do it, but there are lots of risks involved, is all I would say to that, is because you're never quite sure what specification you're going to get, because German specs are different from ours. We tend to put more in the first place, and the Germans tend to sort of start with an engine and 4 wheels, and then you add the rest and you pay for it. But that's sort of a simplistic view, and also you need to be very careful about importing. And fine, it's something that people do, and I'm not knocking it at all. That's what the EC is all about, after all. But you need to be very careful about making sure you get your warranty sorted, you know what that is, and check the records of the vehicles. I have to say, in all honesty, I have had some real horror stories. People phoned me up and said, I bought this bloke offered me this brand new, hardly registered motor caravan from Germany. And it turns out that it was it had, in fact, I think it'd been ringed, this particular one, and it was a very dodgy deal. So you need to be careful. Don't say don't do it, but do it carefully.
And of course you've got to get it registered, MOT'd over here anyway when you get it over here. It
has to be inspected and everything else, and so be careful.
Okie dokie. Always a pleasure, John. Thank you very much indeed. If someone wants information, what's your website?
They can call us on 01444 or 453399, or they can email us at I'm going to get this one wrong, man. Info at motorhomeinfo.co.uk.
Info at motorhomeinfo.co.uk.
That's the one.
Have you got a website?
We have got a website, which is, of course, Motorhome Info. So it's www.motorhomeinfo.co.uk.
Excellent. And thank you so much indeed. Hopefully we speak to you again soon. Matt wants to go travelling around the world in one. But a Winnipeg. Oh, he's got a fabulous... Where'd you get that picture from?
These are photos that a guy called Chris has emailed in. So there you go. You look at the side of this Winnipeg.
Oh, my God. It's got one here where you actually got a car inside.
It's got a Mercedes SLK. It's basically a compartment in between the back and front wheels for a Mercedes SLK car.
Yep. That's right. That was the German who did that, I think.
That's right. And then the more we scroll down, it shows you pictures of the interior. It's like being on Roman Abramovich's yacht.
Bloody hell, that is amazing, that.
Yep.
And that is a motorhome.
That is a motorhome. There aren't many of them about, but there are some.
That is like a luxury... You're right, like a luxury yacht inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Jeez, look at that engine.
Sorry about this.
All I'm saying is, even the smaller ones... okay, so you've got a super luxury there, I accept that, but even the smaller ones are pretty damn good.
This one's got an enormous television in it as well.
It's got 4.
In every room.
Every room. How many rooms has it got?
It's got about 4 different rooms. Look at that.
Look at the shower room and the bathroom. Goodness. Have you got any of these, John? Have you seen the pictures?
I think I know the ones you're referring to, yeah.
You're right, it's a coach. It's definitely a coach, this thing.
Yeah, to take all that, it has to be very big.
Yeah, it's huge. It's the one with the side things that come out as well.
So how much would something like that cost?
That will be 6 figures plus. And you could be talking about as much as 150, 200 grand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's quite cheap, really.
Cheaper than buying a house, though.
Well, I know you guys can afford it, so it's easier.
It's cheaper than an Aston Martin. Yeah. Actually, when you think of it, it's cheaper than a Ferrari.
Can you get a mortgage on a motorhome?
Can you get sort of loans on that? What was the situation as loans, John?
Oh yes, you can. But it's like everything else. At the moment, there is this dreadful double C word, isn't it? People get all excited about. And at the moment, no, it's not as easy to get a deal as it used to be. But you can get them.
Can you advise on that if people contact you?
We can put them on to people who can.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, sir.
And very nice to talk to you again.
And likewise, and please give our very best wishes to the lovely, beautiful Ruth as well.
Yeah, I'll get her to talk to you one day, honestly.
You're very kind.
Okay.
All the best, you.
Cheers,
John.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for that. Thank you. That's John. That's John Demere from the Motorhome company, Motorhome Information Service.
So what did he give you? What did he give you for that? A week's free motorhome hire for that interview, or what?
Not
what
yet.
was it?
I'm working on it. I've got it for you. You asked me. You said you want a Winnebago. So I'm trying to organise you one.
Right.
Okay, I want you to think very carefully. Now, get your pens out. Think of a number, 1 to 10.
Think of it or write it down.
Think of a number 1 to 10. Write it if you want to. Multiply it by 9.
Oh, I know this, yeah.
Okay, multiply it by 9.
Uh-huh.
If the number is a 2-digit number, add the digits together. Got that? Subtract 5. And then determine which letter in the alphabet corresponds to the number you ended up with. For example, 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C, etc. Okay, you got that?
Mm-hmm.
Think of a country that begins with that letter.
Okay.
Okay. Remember the last letter of the name of that country.
Uh-huh.
Think of the name of an animal that starts with that letter.
Oh, for flipping heck's sake. Yeah.
Remember the last letter in the name of that animal.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Think of the name of a fruit that starts with that letter.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking of a kangaroo in Denmark eating an orange?
No, I'm thinking of a koala in Denmark eating an apple.
And for you?
I'm thinking of a dog in England eating a guava.
I don't believe you. Well, 90... He did, he wrote it down. Denmark, koala, apple. So I got Denmark. 1 out of 3. 98 of the population got this, only 2% didn't. You two are part of the 2%.
There you go. Chris has emailed back to say he understands that motorhome was actually up for £600,000, but that was including the Mercedes.
Oh, what's the Mercedes? Well, Mercedes over 200 grand.
I think it's about 150, isn't it?
That one, that particular model. Because that was the latest one, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It was on there. That was the super duper one.
I was more interested in the Caravan, to be honest. The motorhome, sorry.
That Mercedes is more expensive than my Mercedes.
Oh, of course, your Mercedes is a cheap Mercedes. The only thing expensive about your Mercedes is running it.
Thank you very much. My Mercedes happened to be top of the range.
10 years ago.
What do you mean 10 years? It's not that old. It's nearly that old, but not quite that old.
It's a lovely car.
Mike, did you see Gordon Brown and his cabinet today poncing around my city of Birmingham? As if anybody cares about these useless bunch of wasters. And yes, it does cost the taxpayers of the West Midlands $2.1 million for security to protect these pillocks. And why did Gordon Brown choose Birmingham for this stunt? Well, good old Gordon said he came to Birmingham to listen to the people. And he feels the pain of the ordinary person suffering in this bad economic climate. And the credit crunch. Well, listen to me, Mr. Gordon, and you useless bunch of New Labour tossers. Just called an election. Be rid of you liberals and socialists for good. Get the message, Gordon? That's from Angry Peter in Birmingham. Did he sound angry?
He's always angry, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah. Political correctness has its roots in the Frankfurt School in Germany that moved to the USA during the Nazi uprising in the 30s. It took root in America, universities, and spread across the world. That's from JP.
Did we talk about political correctness tonight?
Only with, we did with Al.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't realise Americans actually took political correctness seriously.
Yes.
I didn't think it happened over there. It didn't years ago.
Only in America, my friend.
Well, no, it's only here. I thought it was only here.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought we took it over the top. But we're always over the top with these things. Compared to the Yanks.
Yeah.
01243 55 60 60. Email us, studio@playradiouk.com, and I'll be back after this break. Oh, we're back.
Oh, we are back.
Someone just opened the door and told me I was back. I thought I'd gone. Actually, it was interesting, that story from, or that letter from Peter in Birmingham, because, yeah, he's quite right. You know, we have got a load of tossers running this country at the moment. Brown reckons he can beat leadership crisis like he overcame tragedies in personal life. Here we go. It's a bit like the X Factor, isn't it? People come out with all their sad sack stories. Gordon Brown today pledged to save his premiership with the same spirit that helped him cope with his daughter's death and losing an eye. The Prime Minister will promise to lift Labour out of the doldrums by saving Britain from the slump. What's he going to do? Go on...
Gordon Brown lost an eye?
Yeah. You know he's only got one eye. He lost it playing rugby.
Really?
Long time ago. You don't notice?
No, I didn't. I don't know why he looked a bit dodgy.
He looks dodgy anyway.
No, you know why he looks dodgy, yeah. So when he goes to the elections next time, he's going to probably play on the fact that he lost a daughter and he lost an eye, and of course he's lost the country. He's lost our crown jewels, he's got rid of our gold, he's just about screwed the country.
Has he got rid of the crown jewels?
Oh yeah, you know that. Well, as good as the crown jewels, he's got rid of all our gold. All our gold reserves are gone.
The crown jewels are still there.
You're just being picky, you are.
I was actually quite rather concerned.
When are you going away? Well, you mentioned last week you're going to Italy or something?
Yeah, I am.
Well, when are you going to fuck off and never come back?
Behind this.
Oh.
You're merely the puppet, Mike. I'm holding all the strings.
Anyway, as we move on here, and Brown's going to apparently vow the future is bright and Britain is going to be great with him as Prime Minister. Is he kidding someone? Is he delusional, this man? Maybe he is using the wrong eye to look at stuff.
Yeah.
Could well be. You never know. Be seen as one of his last throw the dice to boost Labour disastrous poll ratings. Nothing is going to save him, he really isn't. He's going to set out his thinking in a pamphlet handed to his cabinet, written on the back of a postage stamp, I'm sure. Mr. Brown will say in a presentation seen by The Sun, my own responses to the great challenges of my own life have been to confront them, resolute in the belief there will always be something that can be done to overcome them. Do people actually understand what he's talking about? There's always been, now once more, I'm confident that we can come through the difficult economic time and meet those challenges a stronger, more secure and fairer country than ever before. Is there anything fair about this country at the moment? I don't think so. The guy is Now, Mr. Brown's daughter, Jennifer, died tragically only a few days after being born. And the Prime Minister went temporarily blind after a rugby injury at school and only has the use of one eye. Hold on, they just said temporary. A pretty long temporary. Anyway, friends say he'll use the same determinations to pull Britain through the credit crisis and save his job. The Prime Minister wants to call on Britain's blitz spirit to beat a possible recession. He added, I do not underestimate these challenges, and I do believe that Britain's future is bright. I know there's people who feel that modern Britain has been unfair to them. Some of them are right. But there's nothing that's bad about Britain that can't be overcome by what is good about Britain. As long as we keep faith with our beliefs in fairness. Throughout our history, this nation has repeatedly demonstrated a proud spirit of cautious and practical optimism. And we call on that spirit once again. Yeah, but hold on, you need Britons in the country to help us, by the way. At the moment, we are swamped by foreign... Excuse me, what is that? That's a very old picture, that one. We are swamped by foreign powers.
We are.
Foreign peoples.
Our country is not our own.
Oh, exactly.
How did Brown actually get in?
By default.
Blair left.
It was default, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've got a nice email here.
A nice email?
Which is slightly off the beaten track. You mentioned last week a download you can get for an Apple iTouch so that you can listen to Play over a Wi-Fi connection. Can you remember what it is and remind me? Thanks. I can't remember what it is. I believe it's for the I believe it's for the iPhone, isn't it? I mean, the best thing to do is go onto the Apple website and look for downloads and look for the Apple iTouch downloads and look for some sort of radio Wi-Fi package. It should all be fairly self-explanatory in the titles. And it said, while you're on about cock rings, try this lot. Branded condoms. Imagine if all major retailers started making their own brand of condoms and kept the same tagline they used to sell the other products, and some of these are genius. Sainsbury's condoms, making life taste better.
God.
Tesco condoms, every little helps. Nike condoms, just do it. Peugeot condoms, the ride of your life. Galaxy condoms, why have rubber when you can have silk? KFC condoms, finger licking good. Safeway condoms, lightening the load. Abbey National condoms, because life is complicated enough. Duracell, they keep going and going. Pringles, once you pop, you can't stop. But there are some great ones. Burger King condoms, home of the Whopper. And where's the other one? Royal Mail condoms, I saw this and thought of you. And Ron Seal quick drying condoms does exactly what it says on the packet. And Domestos gets right under the rim.
They're very
and
good.
of course, there's the condoms with ink inside them. No? Another one?
No.
Nobody knows that one?
No.
That's right, you can write them a letter if you don't come. I agree that Ronnie Biggs should be released. I'm a taxi driver in Norwich, and I was speaking to a prison officer a couple of weeks ago who says that Ronnie is a really nice chap. Apparently he's on the hospital wing, and all the fellow lags wanted to be pally with him when he first arrived. But the novelty wore off after they realised that since he's had a stroke, he can only speak by pointing to a word board, and most of the lags are illiterate. By the way, any sign of the whiskey I won a couple of weeks ago, or as Whaley buggered off with it? That's from Mick in Norwich.
I can tell you exactly where the whiskey is. It's wrapped up in a polystyrene safe container in a box with your name and address on it, sat in our office.
Do you want that then?
Nope.
To remind you?
Nope.
Okay, so why don't it been posted?
Because the lady that takes care of post and stuff is actually on a well-deserved holiday.
Oh, right, okay. Thank you very much. Will you keep us informed of Andy Murray's score, by the way, as we go through them?
Of course, darling, yeah.
Terribly sweet of you. Do you want him to win or lose?
Win.
Really? A lot of people don't want him to win.
Well, no, it's because of some silly comments he's made, but at the end of the day, he's still quite a young lad in the grander scheme of life. And to be honest, I class myself as English mainly, and not really Scottish and Welsh, although I've got Scottish blood in me. It's just a bit of a joke that I believe that I'm English, but at the end of the day we do come from Great Britain and we don't have a lot to shout about sporting-wise, so we should be shouting about Andy Murray beating the world #1.
Without a doubt. In fact, he normally beats Federer as well. I think the last 3 meetings that Murray's actually beaten him 2 of the 3 has been to Murray.
The thing is, they think, I mean, Nadal's had an amazing year, but was obviously suffering some sort of exhaustion because his serves weren't as powerful as they usually are, etc., etc., which is great for Murray. I mean, you take it, don't you? Everyone has you win that many titles, you're the world #1, you're bound to get exhausted at some point, but my worry is that Andy would have put everything he has in the tank into last night's match just to beat an under par Rafa Nadal. I'm not sure that he can beat a Roger Federer because Federer's had the time to recover and Andy's going straight into his next match the next day.
Very true. But there again, these are meant to be professional sportsmen, which really pisses me off when they go on about footballers playing 2 or 3 games in a fortnight. You know, these guys are being paid a fortune to play football.
Yeah, no, of course.
And how they can say, we need a break. And now they're talking about a winter break, I think, right in the middle of the football season for Premier League.
No, that's ridiculous. They're all becoming a little bit...
pansy.
Not even pansy. They're all getting a little bit above their station, I like to think, in the fact that, I'm a multi-millionaire footballer, my body is finely tuned, but I don't want to play more than 2 matches a week, because why should I have to? And I want a winter break because I'd like to enjoy Christmas with my family. It's all a bit stupid.
Yeah, but they wouldn't talk like that. Well, they would say, I don't know if...
Well, no, we all know they can't
speak
talk.
English, most of them, yeah.
We all know they can't talk.
Well, the English ones go...
Wayne Rooney merely spits the language out as opposed to speaking.
He's lost it totally, isn't it? Time they got rid of him.
He was never worth the money he brought for.
I think since he broke his leg, he just hasn't been the same.
He's never been any good.
Yeah.
Look at his ratio of goals for England.
2.
No, 14 in all of his competitive
but 2
matches.
in the last, God knows how many games.
Joe Cole, who's a midfielder who's played less matches than Wayne Rooney, is on 10, only 4 behind what's meant to be our best striker. It's a load of old rubbish.
Yep. And what happened to the days when you were born in Manchester and you play for Manchester? When you're born in Tottenham, you play for Tottenham? No, you're going to be born in Barcelona or Argentina to play for...
When were those ever the days?
Well, they're the old days of football. That's what it was all about. The good old days,
No, that was
when
before...
a ball was a ball, it was
that was
leather,
before cars were invented, so no one could get anywhere.
When what was invented?
Cars.
Thank you. Okay.
Why did that deserve a horn?
Because it did. It's a car.
Hey, you're the master of the horn. I should not question.
Exactly. No one's got a horn like me.
You're quite right.
It's the mighty horn. Thank you very much indeed.
You'll give him a mighty horn in a minute.
I think you're impressed. My horn's a lot bigger than Wales, by the way.
Wales got a tiny horn.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, if we're looking at this for phallic representation, then Mike definitely
He's the master.
bought a Ferrari, whereas James brought an Astra.
He did, very much so. But he's always had a little one.
Yeah.
It's strange, we've always compared the sizes between the two.
Yeah, yours is evidently much bigger. Well, I mean, I've seen both of them, and yours is 5 times bigger.
Mine's almost...
it's a different colour as well.
Yeah, it makes your eyes water, doesn't it, my one? Really?
Maybe.
Maybe jump earlier.
I did, didn't it? That was when we were off the air.
Hey.
Okay, we're talking there about how many foreign nationals there are in this country. There's also, on top of the legal ones, more than 600,000 illegal immigrants who are actually been allowed to stay in Britain thanks to a recent government amnesty. The News of the World, this is from Sunday's News of the World, revealed that Home Office officials will abandon any efforts to track them down or kick them out of the country. Isn't that amazing?
Well, it's because they can't. Because they track them down, spend a load more taxpayers' money trying to kick them out of a country, and then
they get back in again
all
anyway.
the human rights people pipe up and say, you can't do this, you can't do that. We're not allowed to run our country anymore.
Instead of the huge number of equivalent to a city the size of Sheffield, they're going to allow to settle here and work legally, apparently. And what happened to the days when we were told that if someone commits a crime, a foreign national commits a crime over here, then they'd be instantly deported? Well, that isn't happening either.
Well, I have to say, I've actually seen, read up on a couple of cases where the government they do seem to be pulling their finger out when that's concerned.
Not from what I've seen. You're looking at different figures to me.
I'm looking at the real ones.
Yeah, I'm looking at...
At the end of the day, no matter what figures we're fed, we know they're not real.
Precisely. Apparently, the decision's been taken because just 60 immigration service officials are now reviewing a massive backlog of 660,000 applications for asylum, when about 60,000 believed to have already been deported, decided to leave, or have died, or waiting.
I'm not laughing at the dead. I'm just laughing at the scenario.
Yeah, exactly. or awaiting deportation. But with some applications dating back 10 years ago, ministers have decided it's easier just to let the rest stay. Those who can be contacted will be sent a letter saying they'll not be removed, but they will have been told that if they leave Britain, they just can't come back. So don't you dare go on a holiday. Many of the illegals have started families and found work in the black economy. Are you allowed to say that, black economy?
Yeah.
And now the government is hoping they'll move into legal jobs and start paying taxes. You mean they're not? Ministers deny the legacy case reviewers an amnesty. One said if they leave the country, they won't be allowed back in. However, many are now so well embedded in the community, it'll be a long, drawn-out process to get rid of them. But the decision is likely to encourage hundreds of thousands more immigrants to travel to Britain, knowing grants to travel to Britain are unlikely to be removed.
It's ridiculous, and they say that, hopefully they'll start getting jobs and paying taxes. They don't want jobs. That's why most of them are over here. It's to claim their benefits, get their houses.
If they're illegal, how do they get the benefits?
Oh, it's ridiculous. They don't want jobs, that's for sure. They won't actively try and find jobs and pay taxes. They'll try and stay on benefits and get as much for free as they possibly can. Then there's the odd genuine ones. I mean, if they actually wanted jobs, most of them would probably have jobs by now, rather than just sat on their arses waiting for asylum.
Quite right, too. No, you're right. Without a job. Without a doubt.
It's not just immigrants that are, taking benefits that they're not entitled to, whereas the innocent ones who are entitled to are not entitled.
Of course,
Do you know what I mean?
Of course, but
the benefits always go to the wrong people. Full stop.
Well, you find normally that the sort of, if I use the expression, white English person who cheats the benefit system normally gets caught. It seems to be the immigrants that don't get caught.
I mean, if you ask me, benefits should work on a credit basis anyway, a bit like pensions. Each person, they don't have a fund, you don't put money into it, but for every hour you work, you get like 10 pence benefit. So if you've worked, or I'm throwing figures out, I'm not thinking about it, but you get the idea. If you've worked 50 years, you've earned the right to be out of work for a couple of months, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then what about young single mothers?
Well, that's a completely different kettle of fish, isn't it?
But it's still...
Because if you have a child, that brings a complete new sort of angle into the whole thing. But it would stop...
It's still draining the benefit system,
It would stop draining or surviving young single mothers. I don't know. How would you like...
It's still draining the benefit system.
Well, they've got to survive, haven't they? If they can't work, just a newborn baby, they've got to survive.
Yeah, but I just think we're just fueling this idea that young women can go out and have babies.
Well,
because this is the
and
country
try and milk the system all they can. Yeah.
I know that some women probably do that, but I think in a large majority that's a bit of a smokescreen, to be honest with you. But for me, I mean, I had friends that were coming out of A-levels, and I was saying, what are you going to do then? You go, I'm going to go sit on benefits for a year and then go to university.
That's great attitude to have, isn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly, but if you had a credit system, it would stop people doing that. It would move people through the education system faster. It would move people into work, because people would take any jobs they could, because they would know that eventually one day they'll be out of work, and if they haven't worked a certain period, a certain amount, then they aren't going to get benefits. So they have to get straight into a job, which means that people wouldn't sit around looking for the perfect job. They take up the jobs that we need people to do in the interim in order to spur them on to look for a proper job, and that's the way you would get people to work and off benefits.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point, and I do think the benefit system needs to be there, and it should be there as a safety net to catch people that need it. But I just don't think we're getting it right at all.
No, but at the end of the day, we have to look after our own first, and I think personally, it might sound a bit harsh, is we have to get rid of the immigrants who are on benefits, chuck them out of the country, and then look at what we're doing.
They paid nothing into the system.
No, we can't look at what we're doing until we've got rid of what everybody else is doing.
Do you know, I got a letter not so long ago from the benefit and pensions people to say I haven't paid enough into my pension scheme, not pension scheme, but my whatever it is you're meant to pay into every year, and therefore my pension when I retire will be something like £3.17 a week.
Yeah.
Now, how can I survive on £3.17 a week? If I was a foreign national who came over here and paid nothing, I get the full pension.
Or do they?
Yeah, of course
well,
they
how
do.
come you have to pay then?
So
what is this, your national insurance you're talking about? Right, okay, so you've only paid enough to get... But you don't get told how much you can and can't pay. It's a statutory amount.
No, because I was out of the country for a couple of years. And I came back in, and then I pay a self-employed stamp, or what do you want to call it, My contribution is self-employed.
Yeah.
So I don't pay the same as employed people.
That's quite right. Yeah.
And which is less than employed people. And because of that, I'm not getting a full pension when I actually retire. But if I want to give them something like 17 grand, then I can go on to a full pension. Why should I pay 17 grand?
Well, it depends. If you're going to pay 17 grand to get 50 back, then it's not a bad investment, is it?
Yeah, it depends how long I'm going to live for, doesn't it? Really.
And we've got Sizemore on Skype.
Oh, we really? That makes a change. Sizemore, hello and welcome to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is the connection good?
It's fantastic.
Right, there seems to be a delay. Maybe you're doing that on purpose. I'd like to comment on the benefits thing that you're talking about tonight.
There is no delay.
Sizemore, would you like to comment on the benefits thing tonight? We could be here all night.
Yes, we could. I didn't think my connection was bad, so...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We've actually got a brand new internet computer, so our Skype connection is even better than it was.
Whoa, I'm impressed.
Good, excellent. I hope I'm coming through loud and clear. What you were saying earlier, Matt, about people having to contribute to be able to get a benefit.
Sort of, not contribute. Not contribute in a monetary...
They must do something to deserve it.
Yes, they get well, I suppose an imaginary credit for every hour you work. You don't actually pay anything monetary-wise.
Hold on. If a foreign national comes over here and has never worked...
Don't get benefit, but that's what I'm saying.
They do get benefits.
No, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't do.
No, sorry, Sizemore.
And I agree with Matt in that case. Because what I think you fail to accept is that we're not operating under... UK law, we're operating under European law.
Yeah.
And as a European citizen, you're entitled to all the benefits of the country that you reside in. So if you are allowed to emigrate, is that the right word? No, it's not. If you're allowed to move from one place in the EU to another place that is of benefit to you, then you will become an economic migrator, which the Poles have done, and now they're leaving us in droves because they know what's happening here. The UK is turning into a police state. They've already seen it in their own countries because they lived through the Russian Revolution, where they were heavily put upon. And they see exactly the same thing happening here. So what they did was they came here, took all the benefits they could while they could, and now they see the sea is changing slightly, so they'll come back to where they know.
I have to disagree with you slightly, Sizemore. I mean, for most of the Polish people I've had experience with over in this country, they all work, and they all work a damn lot harder than the English people do in the jobs that they're doing. And the reason I believe they're going back now is not because of what's happening to this country. Yes, it's probably a factor, but it's actually because Poland has sorted its own backyard out.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. And I wasn't singling out Polish people. I was talking about economic migration.
Okay.
No, but you were right to point to the Poles though, because you're quite right. They are leaving this country now in droves because they know they're better off to go back there. They've seen what's going on there. They've seen what's going on here. Yeah,
but that's not because our country's going down the pan. It's because their country's pulled the finger out.
Yeah, which we're not doing. So we are going down the pan. Indirectly, aren't we?
So I do disagree with Matt there. I think our country is going down the pan, and we're going to be bust very shortly.
That's not what I said. I said they're not going back because our country is going down the pan, but that's not the reason they're leaving. The reason they're leaving is because their country has sorted it.
They see a better opportunity in their own country.
Of course, and why not? Because the Polish government for years have watched all their tradesmen and all their sort of trades leave the country to the point where they got to the state where you couldn't actually get a plumber to save your life. So they've actually turned around and gone, we actually need to do something about this. We'll sort it out and we'll bring everybody back, and that's what they've done.
Hence Gordon Brown's statement today, or not today, it was a week or a month ago, about opening up apprenticeships. And no longer would there be an age restriction on it, that you could be an apprentice at any age.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is an extremely good idea, but do you not see the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, this is cheap labour at the end of the day. But thank you for the call. I've got to move on because we're coming up to 10:01 already. We're running late. Play Radio UK, or Play 2. I'll get it right eventually. Little voice in the background there is Fiona. Hi, Fiona.
Hello.
Welcome. Matt's vanished for a while. Fiona's ex-BBC, poor cow. Are you still there, or are you finished there?
I'm not there presently.
Not there presently, okay. But you're coming to work here?
Yes.
Oh, isn't that exciting? And you're here to bully me while Matt's
I am.
away.
To crack the whip, yeah.
Crack the whip. The last person said that to me. I won't tell you what I said to them. Okay, Louise, thank you for your email. Youngsters today don't seem to realise that when you leave school, you're supposed to get a job. They should learn that they're not too good to do any job while they look for the special job they might aspire to. Referring to pensions, Mike should check out the system has been enforced for some time between Britain and Australia and possibly New Zealand. Often these countries will take into account payments made into the national insurance system in one of those other countries. I don't know if I paid tax over there, actually. No, I think of it. I'm sure I did. Chris says the Czech crown is worth half what it was about a year ago. That's another reason why they're going home. What's it to do with the Polish? Matt's arrived with his refreshments. He's feeling a lot better. What did you just say to him?
I'm bossing him around already.
Already? She's bossing you around?
Well, unless she looks like that.
It's amazing. Get a woman in the studio. It's amazing. We all go to putty. Amazing.
We all go where?
Into putty.
Where's that?
Putty. It's just outside Poland.
Oh,
that's why they're all leaving.
Oh, I see.
Craig in Reading. Hello, Craig. I've been a new for ages. I've just returned from 2 weeks in Biarritz on the French border. It's nice there, the French border with Spain. My view on the immigration system is you should work and pay into the system for at least 5 years before being able to claim any sort of benefits, including free healthcare, housing benefits, social services, etc. Australia have got a similar system. How in the hell can an illegal immigrant claim benefits in the UK? This is crazy. The government's so out of touch. And what is going on? The human rights law is one major cause of this, and the EU. Now, you can't claim benefits for at least 5 years, so why can't the UK follow suit and stick the middle finger up at the EU? Middle finger? It's very difficult to get the middle finger up.
Not a problem.
Yeah, but it's quite uncomfortable on the fingers, though, isn't it? You can't keep it really straight, can you? I mean, I've got small fingers next to you.
Yeah, you can.
You can do it, I can't. Can you do it? Not really.
Almost.
See, your fingers also
I've got
go.
thin, spindly fingers, haven't I?
That's true. You got long fingers. Your girlfriend's happy.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, where do I get to now? You can put a cock ring on that, can you?
God.
The
Excuse me while I dig the show for the water.
Can you be a postman, policeman or fireman or paramedic in France unless you're French? Most Polish people are leaving the UK. There's many Polish people in Reading, and yes, many are leaving as their country is getting better off, and most are returning home. Craig, thank you for that one. Although we did mess it up right in the middle. Did you watch the X Factor the weekend?
Yes.
You did? Were you impressed?
There you go, look, there we go. It's just the same predictability, isn't it? Sob stories.
I got the X Factor. Yeah, I mean, yes. Especially that bloke who, it was Daniel, who said his wife died in childbirth.
That's harsh.
I had Cheryl Cole sobbing.
And Cheryl Cole was social, wasn't she? I was as well, actually. My wife was, I was.
Oh.
Who said you go? Did you cry?
No.
You hard woman.
I do like this stage of the X Factor, though, with all the auditions. It does get a bit boring.
It's only the first couple of episodes of the auditions that are any good, though, because now we're seeing the predictable sob stories come out, and you know they're now showing you the people we're going to be watching for the next 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're showing them more detail because they know already who the final 10 are, don't they?
But also, if you notice, if you follow the format of the show, it follows exactly the same sort of peaks and troughs throughout the show as it does, you know, week after week.
I agree.
Indeedy. But I prefer this. This is, to me, is the best part of it. I don't particularly enjoy the competition.
No.
When they're actually on stage.
The only thing about the X Factor is the minute the first episode is aired, it's the countdown to Christmas. Because I don't know if you saw the first episode of The X Factor, and you notice how many toy adverts were in there, and how many Christmassy type things were sort of advertised in and around The X Factor. And the X Factor winner usually gets the #1, and it's announced a week or two before Christmas, so it is literally the official countdown to Christmas, which starts 3 months in advance.
Actually, Leona Lewis, who I thought was very good last year when she won that.
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it really? It shows how much I've been. Where have I been for the last year? So who won last year was that idiot...
Leon.
Yeah, but he's done nothing, has he, really?
Not really, no.
He's a waste of space. But I thought she was excellent, but they don't give her much exposure, do they?
That's because they're playing it very safe with
They're
Leona.
very good with her.
She's been working for the last 18 months in America with Whitney Houston's producer, and they're sort of bleeding her out into the public eye slowly, because I think she's, rather than have a fly-by-night year or two career, that she's going to have a whole life of this. You know, in 10 years' time, she's going to be the British Whitney Houston.
Yeah. And who's the woman who won the Nancy competition?
Don't watch that crap.
Because her boyfriend just left her, and now she feels very hurt.
Really?
She's very, it's in today's paper.
Why did he leave her?
Is it
because she was ugly?
I don't think she was particularly ugly.
Well,
she was a very good performer. I went to see her in the show.
Really?
The Sound of Music. Yeah, I thought she was excellent in it. Great Nancy.
In The Sound of Music?
Not Oliver, then?
No. I was talking about The Sound of Music.
Right.
It wasn't the Nancy show, was it?
No, so you're talking about...
it's terrible. My mind's gone at this time of the
But
day.
they only get guaranteed one run, don't they? Which is like a 6-week run.
But The Sound of Music was Connie Fisher.
Thank you. Connie Fisher's boyfriend's after. Thank you very much.
Is she still actually performing in The Sound of Music?
No, I think she's out of it, isn't she?
I thought she did Martin McCutcheon and left through stress.
Again?
I don't know. But when she was first announced the winner and that, there was some stories in the paper she'd been seen with another guy. So is it...
Someone who works on the show, yeah.
Is the person that's left her this other guy that works on the show?
No, the guy that she was always with.
Well, so she was sort of cheating on him. I'm surprised he waited this long, to be honest with you.
He was a personal trainer.
Really?
Really? Yeah, I'd thumped the bloke who was having an off with her, or she was having a thing with.
Well, it's like, who was it said, was it Al? Or someone, John, the taxi driver, said, or was it you? I can't remember. Somebody said, the best punishment you can give them is to let them have them.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Yeah, you said that, yeah.
That was one of my one-liners. Because I do have hundreds of them, you realise that, so be careful. Because you realise that the secret of a happy marriage remains a secret.
That's right.
It's very true, isn't it, really? Because, if you told you the secret, I'd just kill you.
Let's end that discussion then.
And mind you, a good wife always forgives her husband when she's wrong. Which she should do. My wife and I were very happy for at least 20 years. Then we met. Anyway, didn't realise I had a load
like that one.
You know I had a load of wife jokes and you had to throw on there.
I like that one. I do feel sorry for your wife, though.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Most people do.
Don't blame.
She was sorry for herself.
Oh.
Imagine on the piss tonight, anyway.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. A big mistake is I showed her how to use the computer the other day. So you can actually watch this and listen to us.
Oh dear.
But tonight she's probably pissed out of her brain.
Girly night out, is it?
No, she went we've got a couple of gay guys who live opposite us. They're all listening at the moment, Sunk Slayers. And she loves them so much, she spends all her time with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
they're not really gay, are they?
They're very gay.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah, they're married.
Oh, my God.
What? They got one of those cock rings as well.
Yeah, I bet they've got a couple of them.
I gave them. As a gift, I gave them to them.
Really?
Because Faith sent them to me and I didn't want them, so I gave it to them.
Excellent.
I did try them first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I wonder, like...
Your face!
I've sat there and thought about, are they machine washable?
It should say so on the package.
Yeah, but it's elastic, isn't it? You can often ruin it. I don't know, how would you wash it?
I got a very funny story to tell you, but I can't tell you. It is so funny. I'll tell you off the air.
Oh,
it's very embarrassing. I'll tell you off the air. It's embarrassing for the person involved.
Don't mention their name, then.
No, because people might think it's me.
Well, who cares? Let people think it's you.
But then it'd be even more embarrassing.
Well, as long as you know it's not you. Or is it?
Is it a good story?
It's a very, very funny story.
Then it doesn't matter about being embarrassed, does it?
No, the thing is, I think... I may have couldn't tell it, because I think I may have mentioned to Faith on air. Did I say to... you said to Faith on air you wanted something? Did I say I wanted something as well? On air?
No, not that I remember.
That's right, I must have emailed about it afterwards.
It's you, isn't it? It's you. That's why you won't tell the story, because it's gone bright. It has gone bright red. If you go to nttbs.com and click watch, that's nttbs.com and click watch, you'll see Mike.
Let me tell you something. She sent me something, and I had an accident with it.
Oh dear.
What kind of accident?
I don't know if I want to know now. I quite like the mental image I have of Mike fully clothed in a chair behind a radio desk. I don't want any other mental images.
If I show these knickers she sent me, they're not the ones I had the accident with. But they still got the label on there. They're completely clean. I'll give them to you, Nick, tomorrow. I'll bring them in tomorrow.
Okay.
But I'm going to show these on the camera, these knickers. I was going to go to break early because it's...
You need time to recover from that, don't you? But don't worry, Mike, you needn't be embarrassed because we don't know the story yet.
No, just the image of it. I'm thinking about now. If I tell you, it really is very funny. But if I told the story, she's going on tell him. No, I couldn't tell it.
No, I don't want to know. It's
no
fine.
way at all. No way at all.
It's fine.
I'll tell you off the air. Seriously.
Okay.
And then people will say, "You'll know." I won't say because you'll probably tell it.
Yes, I will. Yeah, on Sunday night.
On Sunday, that's what I thought. That's what I was worried about. People say, "Go on, tell us what Mike said."
I'd never mention your name though. I'd
but they'll
say,
guess.
I know this person, or I've heard this person.
Who had a mishap with a what's it?
With a what's it indeed. Roger Federer's leading 1-0 15 love up on the break of Andy Murray's serve. So he's currently, Andy Murray serving, and he's losing love 15 and love 1 on the games.
It's rather sad, isn't it?
Well,
really?
it's still only the first few games.
I would like to. Although I'm very anti Andy Murray.
Oh, he's took it back 40-15 to Murray now.
Because I don't like him. Because he's a wimp. I've always called him a wimp.
Really?
Yeah, because have you noticed in his early days, he seemed to be playing really well, and suddenly he's got an illness, or he hurts his arm, or he hurts his leg, or he hurts his ankle, or he hurts his knee.
Oh, it's terrible that when you injure yourself, isn't it, being a sportsman?
Yeah, but he does it all the time. He was doing it all the time at one time. Now he's not so bad.
Some people are just born to be injured, though, aren't they? Like me, I'm just born to be clumsy and injured. The amount of broken bones and scars and stuff I've got.
Exactly. Oh, is that Stevie on the line? Oh, is it? Hold on, let me get a thing out. Don't go away,
do you want to take an ad break and then we'll come to Stevie? Take it a bit early.
Shall I take an ad break then? Do you think I should take an ad break? Anyway, so that's what happened. Anyway, and they're laughing as well. I think it's very embarrassing you're both laughing.
Well, Mike,
I can't believe you told us.
We're not the ones that try to...
Was it a good story, though?
I like it, yeah. It's a very good story.
Excellent. Oh, dear. Can I quickly stick something in? Oh, no.
It's 1 game more between Federer and Murray, 30 all in the third game.
Oh, dear. This is really embarrassing when I'm not organised. Which is not unusual for me, is it, not to be organised?
I think you're quite organised, Mike.
See, the great thing about my previous life is I didn't have to do anything. I just sat there and someone did everything. I'm not used to actually having to do some work in the studio. So I'm just going to find something here to play. Don't go away. Do you really talk to yourselves for a second, please? I just
can't believe you told us that.
What, that story?
You told us that. No, it's terrible.
Yeah,
2 games to 1.
Yeah. Now, hear this. You know you're very good at guessing things.
Yeah.
You like to guess the groups and the song. Name of the group is?
The Beach Boys.
Oh, she got it in 1.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars.
Great sound, the Beach Boys, aren't they? We love them.
Best harmonies in the world.
Yep, and I'm delighted to say I've got a gentleman on the line who's worked with the Beach Boys before they were born. Which can't be bad, can it? They were just...
How did he manage that?
Well, he was inside a condom at the time. He told me the story. It was very unusual, really. And the thing burst. And
hang on a minute, I'm not sure where I am now.
We're still on that last story.
I think we were. I better shut up now. Good friend of mine on the line. It's Stevie Kalenich. Stevie, good evening to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. No, it's still evening, my friend. Unless you're in the States, but you're not only in Brighton at the moment.
How are you, Mike?
I'm fine. How are you?
I just got off the phone with California, and it's like 11 or 12, in the day there, so that's how I got mixed up.
Well, I was actually talking to our Rantel before you at KABC in California, so...
Well, tell him hello.
I will next time. Now, you have a very long association with the Beach Boys, of course, and when I mentioned to Matt earlier that you were responsible for writing some of their music, he said, oh, well, Brian Wilson wrote everything.
Well, my first efforts were in 1968. It came out on the Friends album. With Dennis, I wrote Little Bird and Be Still on the Friends album, and Little Bird was the flip side of Friends, the single, 68. That was my first venture, and that's also the first song Dennis ever had
on a Beach Boy record that he wrote.
Wow.
Answers your question.
There you go.
On there.
Well, that's the beginning. And the most recent thing I did was with Brian in 2004. Well, no, that's not the... In 2004, I wrote the Paul McCartney-Brian Wilson duet, the lyrics of Getting In Over My Head, the album, the song called A Friend Like You, and I have another song, You've Touched Me, on that album. And Peter Blake did the album cover, who did Sgt. Pepper.
Ah, right.
Now, Brian Wilson, what is his condition at the moment? I mean, you've spoken to him fairly recently, haven't you?
Yes, he seemed very good. He's getting that Lucky Old Son, his new album, is getting some of the best press I've seen, and he seems very happy about it, and he keeps coming and doing new things and trying new things, and he's got a great bunch of musicians that love him and a supportive team right now.
He's very laid back, isn't he? He doesn't actually talk to a lot of people.
Well, he does talk sometimes. It just depends what kind of a mood he's in, or if he wants to be alone. But he's very capable of doing things. When I had my eye surgery a year and a half ago, he picked me up every day in his car and took me to my appointments and like that when he was off, which he has a million other things he could do. But he came to my house and got me and took me back, and he's very competent and capable. But he can be low key at times too.
I'd be a little bit worried about Brian Wilson turning up and driving me in a car.
Well, I'll tell you one thing: he's safer than a lot of the buses and cabs I've been in, especially in UK.
Stevie, what are you over here for? Because you've been doing a tour, haven't you, recently?
Well, I came over here for several things. I created with Richard Durant, who you know from Shoreham, the great classical guitar player that was with Sky, the Galactic Symphonies, which is 6 of my poems set to music and tonescapes, and Richard did the music, and we have a Malcolm Buchanan, a fabulous, what do you call that kind of artist? You've seen him, like the 3 screens, like a harmonium that projects images. So as we're doing the pieces, he creates a visual scenario, and it's like 30 feet high, and it's 3 huge screens, and we were nominated. I was nominated for Best Performer in the Brighton Fringe with the Galactic Symphonies, and I also did with Fitza Buwalda, the kind of an opera singer who's a contratenor, did the Magic Hand song cycle with him and Pablo Escande from Argentina, I think.
Weren't you in Scotland? Did you go to Edinburgh as well? Were you at the Edinburgh Festival?
No, I didn't do that one, but I did do Barnstable with Richard, and we did the Galactics. Have you guys heard of, in England, that big thing, Colorscape, where they go in those gigantic color chambers? We did 4 or 5 shows of the Galactics, and we were hired for the festival. And kids come in, and they're all different colors. It was the most amazing experience. It's almost like you're getting high, but you don't take any drugs or anything. You just walk through these colors, and you feel the greatest music and hear it, and it's just, and you see little children dressed in all these great outfits and their parents, and it's so wonderful.
What do you think of the music scene in this country compared to the States, and what the sort of things you're involved in?
I think that I love it here. I think there's probably more opportunity in California, but I've never seen a more spirited bunch of musicians in Brighton, from Charlotte Glasson to the Brighton Beach Boys to Glenn to David Courtney, who you know, who's one of the most talented melody writers, and to me, underrated, even though he's had a lot of hits, because he's just wonderful. And then I'm also friends with Keith Reed, that wrote Whiter Shade of Pale, and he's also friends with David, and I have a lot of friends that have contributed to the whole music scene. Keith Altham, just so many different people, and you, Mike, and a whole bunch of people.
As a matter of interest, I know for a fact you were out for lunch today with David Courtney.
Yes, I was, because you called me then.
Okay, who paid for lunch?
You know what? We split it. Are you worried about David being tight? No, we had a split. I think it was $4.90 or something. I think he might have put in 50p more than me. But
no, I don't believe that.
You guys go way back. I don't want to get into your history. Also, Mike, I'm really excited because after Brian's thing, I have an album I did 39 years ago called A World of Peace Must Come that Brian co-produced. It's my album, though. It's coming out on Light in the Attic Records all over the world. and it's spoken word. It's more like a home recording. It's not some fancy Beach Boy production, but it's about when I was really idealistic, which I am, but I'd have it tempered by a reality. It was called A World of Peace Must Come, and it was for Vietnam, but now in Iraq and Iran, it's very applicable, and I know that you get into some of those issues. The only difference is in the change in my consciousness is that now I realize that those things that I hope for, that sometime it is necessary to defend one's country, and I'm very touched here by War Appreciation Day and the First World War poets, particularly Wilfred Owen. I'm very moved by the battlefields here and by Somme, and I'm very touched that part of England and is kept alive.
How did you get involved in poetry? Because you've been doing poetry for many years now.
Well, when I was 9 or 10 or something, I started a semi-juvenile delinquent, I guess, in some ways, but I started writing rhymes which were not very good, and I wrote one when I was like 6 or 7, and I just kept doing it. I felt that I wanted to make a contribution. I know you know me from all the sides, but when I started out, Mike, you know, the usual thing, you want to meet girls and the things like that we all do, but also I had a desire to make some kind of impact on the world consciousness toward peace and inner peace and doing things in the world good, although I realize now that self-interest and all the other factors, how strongly embedded they are in the consciousness of the world, and it's not quite so easy.
I mean, you still want to meet girls, because I've had some fairly embarrassing experiences with you in the past when we've been in a restaurant and you go around doing poetry around the tables if they've got a table full of girls.
Well, I've only done it a few times when someone's asked me to recite.
Don't give me that rubbish. Come on, I've seen you in a restaurant just walk up to a table and talk to the girls and just do a poem. Hold on a second. Fiona, would you be impressed if a bloke walked up to you and just did a poem to you?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No.
Why?
Fiona.
Stevie.
What if you liked it?
I think, well, it depends whether I liked him.
She's married with children.
Well, it's your wife, huh? You're trying to get me into a trap here, Mike. I can feel it.
No, Steve, she's not married to either of us.
Fiona, if you were, have we met?
No.
Have we gone out? No. Fiona, if someone really, though, was sincere and did it, but not to impress you, but just to communicate with you, wouldn't that make a difference?
Yeah, maybe if it was just to communicate with me. But otherwise I would just think it was probably be a bit naff.
Well, I can understand that. And I would only do one to you if you really wanted to hear something, and I would just recite something.
Maybe it works better in America. Maybe you can get off with girls in America.
I think that it works everywhere, but it doesn't work with everyone. And also, if you use it for that reason, it's not effective. It's got to come out of a sincere, honest place within you. Okay,
Stephen, let me tell you that Fiona is a stunning blonde, very, very beautiful, very pretty, beautiful figure. Not wearing that many clothes at the moment, but if you would like to really impress her with a quick bit of poetry, here's your big chance to see if you can impress her.
Well, I don't know if this one will impress you, but I'll give one of the Galactics a part of it. On the other side of death is life, and life is loving, and zombies who gather together in congregations and mass strangulations feel the bubble is bursting because their soul is thirsting for a touch of the magic hand that with fingers finer than pure gold, fingers not made of flesh or bone, fingers that are all things. This magic hand echoes as a symbol in every land that itself is a part of every woman, every child, and every man.
I can see why you're single. Now, if I was going to approach a lady and read poetry, one of the first lines would be not include zombies and strangulation.
Well, you know what? Well, I understand your reaction, but then you're talking about just going into poetry as romantic, which borders on sentimentality many times, and I think it's okay to go for stronger issues right off the bat. I don't beat around the bush.
No, but if you want to beat around the bush, then you've got to tone it down a bit.
If you want to beat around the bush, you'll be well away then. I mean, my best one, of course, is the boy stood on the burning deck, eating a tuppenny walls. A bit fell down his trouser leg and paralysed his feet.
Yeah, that's not my style of poems, but Mike has a whole wall full of them.
I try. But hold on, Fiona, were you impressed with that?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say the zombies and the strangulation was a bit slightly disturbing, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
But Well, Fiona, the thing is what's going on in the world in Iraq and Afghanistan, I'm talking about some of those issues. Now, I also went to the countryside yesterday to Jane Austen's house. I went to Kipling's house this week and saw the soft, luscious green fields, the leaves, the watermills, and all that. I'm impressed with that, too. It just depends what day and what mood I'm in. It just might caught me at 11 or whatever time it is at night, and it just came out. I didn't plan it.
By the way, when you went to Kipling's house, did they have some exceedingly good cakes there?
Yeah, but he wasn't in.
He wasn't.
But I stood in the room that he wrote "If" in, which is one of my favorite poems, which I'm sure you're most familiar with.
Recite that to me.
I can recite a little of it to you.
Okay.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing those and blaming it upon you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you and make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal with lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. There's a little bit of it. I love that poem.
Now, you see, that has got a better chance of getting a lady into bed than the zombies one.
Mike, who's your friend here? Who's the Echo? I like him, though. He's got a lot of guts.
Actually, they're very small guts compared to mine, but it's not too bad. You've done this album with Richard Durant called Galactic Sympathies,
yes,
Symphonies, which you've been travelling around with. And I actually saw one of your performances, which was absolutely brilliant. I love the light show. I love the way Richard put the thing together.
Bring Fiona next year.
Are you doing it annually? Are you doing it every year, are you?
Well,
because I couldn't handle more than one a year.
Getting the great support I've been getting here from Paul Adset.
Mm-hmm.
So,
when's the album out? Is it already out?
The Galactic is out, the DVD is out, and the CD is out. It came out a few weeks ago, and I highly recommend it, not just for me, but for Richard and you. And it's beautiful, and it's a very moving experience. But Fiona, that poem that I did is one of the Galactics, and it's a fairly strong piece, Mike, wouldn't you say?
Oh, very much so, yeah.
But I think it's got a lot of humanity in it.
Fair enough.
It's been great talking to you, Stevie. We wish you well, and hopefully we're going to see you soon as well.
Yeah, you're going to have me on the program, and I can tone it down, tone it up, but I am what I am, and as P.F. Sloan, that's all I ever can be.
Well, you're going to drag Richard along, who's very much a political animal, by the way.
We'd never ask you to tone it down. Tone it up, by all means.
Now, tell me about this fellow with you before I get off, Mike.
Matt is the producer of the program. He's a stalwart of this particular radio station. Does a very funny show on Sunday night, by the way.
What's the name of it?
It's called Not the Tommy Boyd Show.
Oh, good. Well, he's got a good sense of humor. I'm more on the serious side, but I appreciate a good sense of humor, and you've seen me in rare form before, and don't tell anyone about it.
But even when you're doing your serious poetry, you make me laugh.
Well, because I look at you guys and make faces and stuff because I know you, but I really like it when kids are there. How about Richard's son? Fiona, I was doing a poem, and do you know this series, what's the name of it, Doctor Who?
Mm-hmm.
You know where the I am a Dalek, I am a whatever that one is?
Daleks.
I'm reciting one of the poems in the middle of the show, and Richard's son starts going, I am a Dalek, I am a Dalek, and all the audience is laughing, and Richard's furious at his 2-year-old son. So I've had those experiences.
Were you furious as well, by the way?
No, I thought it was great. it made less work for me.
I'm sure. By the way, when the Beach Boys were over here, or Brian Wilson was over here recently, you linked up with them, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, I saw him when he was here. He's a great... He's helped me a lot. This whole album that's coming out of mine, the other one, World of Peace Must Come, Brian was the co-producer, and he helped me a lot, and Dennis helped me. Oh, also, you know Al Jardine that sang Help Me Rhonda?
Yep.
Well, he's got a new album coming out, and my song California Feeling will be on that, and that's probably coming out this year or the beginning of next year.
Excellent. Listen, we wish you well and look forward to seeing you soon.
God bless you all, and Fiona and Matt and everyone. I wish you the best, and thanks for talking to me.
Absolute pleasure to talk with to somebody who penned some of the greatest songs of our time.
Well, God bless you, Matt.
Take care.
All the best.
Bye.
Bring in all the poets, ride on their verses, walk up and down their words, pick them up out of the gutter, the ones who write with their flesh, with broken steps and gestures, with their lives and suffering that live the poem, with a large swoop, scoop them up in a loose net. Bring poets. Kiss them, love them passionately, breathe in their intensity, ingest it into yourself. Bring in all the poets that touch you, that affect you, those who pound into you, make your heart beat fast, those who make your blood boil. Bring in all the poets that are just underneath the surface, on the edge, around the corner of your suppressed impulse. Bring in all the poets, and with your trumpet blow their brains out with kindness. Play them, sing all aloud simultaneously in the same movement. Scream from the wounds of the earth. Bring in all the poets. Their verses make you alive. Awaken the music that has been lying dormant within you for centuries, that stirs the slush, the muck, the mud, that makes the tributaries and arteries clog up impure. Bring in all the poets, and together let them mow down the terrorists, the oppressors who try to hold us all in check, who make us punch the time clock, who tell us what to think and feel. Bring in all the poets. Scream from the wounds of the earth. Bring in all the poets and bring them fast before it is too late, before the bomb is invented that will eat the world up. Bring in all the poets who are all colors, who are hidden, who can transform and transcend this muted limitation, this striving. Look to the day when their poem will be lived, when their need to express the poem will be silenced, when the abundance will be the orgasm, the climax, the oxygen. Bring in all the poets. Bring in all the poets that will overtake the universe with...
And that is Stephen John Kalenich, together with Richard Durant and the Galactic Symphonies, and that's the first track on there, which is bringing all the poets. Having seen him do that live with Richard, it's an incredible show, and that sound there is literally pulsating. It's really, they blast it out.
It does sound like Gwen Stefani's Rich Girl.
Oh, it did a bit at the beginning.
If I was a rich girl, la 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 la. Federer's leading 5-2 in the first set, by the way.
5-2. I've got a feeling he's gonna win.
What gives you that feeling?
Just that set, and then suddenly Andy Murray will come back and say
he will win at least one set, I believe.
He'll come back and say, "Oh hi, I've hurt my leg, I can't play anymore."
That's terrible. Stop with the accents. Right. Can I put out an appeal right now? Because if it means it stops Mike doing it, I'm quite happy to have a designated accent sayer in the studio during this show.
I want a decent Scottish accent, so after 11 o'clock.
Oh, we should do accents.
11 to 12 would be accents.
We did Rolf Harris impressions last week, and they
weren't very good, were they?
And the vote for Cliff Richard. So yeah, impressions after 11 will be good.
Yeah, but it must be with a foreign accent or a different sort of dialect.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever your voice is, whatever your accent is, it can't be that one. So if you are Scottish, you cannot phone us up with a Scottish accent.
No.
Okay, it's going to be totally and utterly different. Thank you very much indeed. So that's the suggestion after 11 o'clock.
I was just mucking around with my girlfriend at the weekend. We were just sat having...
We went to the cock ring, yeah?
No, having a cigarette. A couple of her friends were in the living room over there. And I just said something in an Irish accent for a laugh, and she suddenly went, "Oh, I like your Irish accent." So I did it again. She went, "Oh, I
turned her on.
So now I'm thinking that she wants an Irish guy.
Dear Deirdre.
I did an accent for my girlfriend.
My boyfriend does a very good Irish accent, and I'm getting off on it.
I'm rubbish at accents.
Are you?
Yeah.
I am too, actually. Watch it, you. I did a play a few years ago, and I had to play the part of Dunlop. Would you believe
the
it?
tyre?
Yeah, the tyre, yeah. And he was Irish. I didn't realise he was Irish.
He
was Irish. That's only after that. But I was... he put me off totally. Anyway, so in the review... In the newspaper, we just said Mike Mendoza lost the plot, lost the accent, and lost everything. I was so good. Absolutely brilliant.
He's so honest. Federer's taken the first set.
He hasn't, is he?
Yeah.
I thought he might.
The perfect personalised card.
That's why I better come back.
Yeah.
We were playing cards, actually, under the table.
Is that what you were doing? I didn't want to say anything, but I did feel a little thing up my leg.
Anyway, what she sent me worked, you see.
Right.
I'll tell you what she did send me, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
I'll just bring that in tomorrow, shouldn't I, as well?
What's that?
It's like a 6-inch extension.
Oh, this is the thing that fits on with the... What? Yeah, I'm intrigued to see exactly... Sorry, Fiona. I'm intrigued to see exactly how that...
It would come out the woman's mouth, I think, when you stick it up. Really.
Oh, really?
It goes up, it must go up so far.
Oh, dear.
Because when you think it's your own one, plus another extra 6 inches, is a bit long. Isn't it, really?
It's unneeded.
So I'll bring that in tomorrow. I've got to bring the underwear and the...
Have you worn it?
No, I told you I hadn't. No, I just I held it up and looked at it. I thought, there's no way would I ever wear that. Because you sent me a Borat suit, which I said I would...
A mankini.
Yeah. I said I would actually wear that and do the show one night in it, and have a photograph taken and put on the website. But she said one size fits all. I just dispelled that theory totally.
Oh, I see.
There's no way does one size fit all.
No.
Never ever believe that.
Not with your extension.
Exactly. It got as far as there. When I put that over my shoulder, I thought, I won't force it.
Yeah, they dropped when you were younger. They're not going back in.
So I gave that to the boys over the road.
Oh, really? After you tried it on?
After I tried it on, yeah. I forgot they're listening.
I bet they're loving that with their cock ring and their mankini. Oh, Kenneth, get a load of me. I'm Borat in it.
I also gave them a pole dance, pole dancing kit, which she sent me. I'll tell you what she did send me, which was very interesting, which I gave them as well. They go to some lesbian friends, I think. Which is like a bean chair, but it's actually got handles on it. You see, and you lay on it and hold on to the handles. And your feet going into another couple of little bits. You're looking very strange at me. And
I'm concentrating.
And I'm just trying to work out what you're meant to do with it once you're on it.
Hump.
It's my age. Had no idea what to do with it.
Not in with the kids, are you?
Not down with the kids.
Not down with the kids.
No, I'd get locked up if I was. I'd be Gary Glitter, wouldn't I? What? On there. Did you watch the motor rating yesterday? Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong, did he?
No.
I think they would.
Absolutely.
I think they're racist.
Sickening.
I think they're racist.
I think they've got it in for McLaren. They did the same thing last year.
I think it's because he is black.
Really?
I think that's what it's all about.
Really? He'll. I think this season, no matter what they throw at him, he'll win it.
Yeah, I hope he does.
I mean, he was the best driver yesterday by far, and I'm off to see him win in Monza.
Yeah. You take a Union Jack with you?
No.
What are you taking?
I'm English.
You take the flag of St George with you?
I'm taking my Vodafone, my bright orange Vodafone, my bright orange Vodafone McLaren F1 T-shirt, and my silver Vodafone McLaren F1 cap, and my McLaren F1 lanyard to hold my tickets in, and no doubt that me and my friend Richard will be the only two in those colours. The rest will be red Ferrari.
Is there any gay in the village?
Hey?
What?
It's Formula 1. There are no gays in Formula 1.
You and your friend...
There's no room for any gays
there must
in
be
Formula
gays
1.
in Formula 1.
There's no room for them.
There must be gays in
Formula 1.
I'm sorry,
let us have this one straight thing. Don't encroach on everything we do.
I don't think there's any harm in having gays in Formula 1.
Really?
Yes. Someone goes up your backside, you know all about it, don't you? I mean, I got hit.
I left you that one.
What?
That was too easy.
Straight in the exhaust pipe. It is very painful, I can tell you.
Yeah.
I used to specialise at one time in off-road motor racing.
Oh, right.
Which is a bit like a Formula 1 car.
But nothing like a Formula 1 car.
Not as big as a Formula 1 car. It's more like a beach buggy. But they're shaped a bit like a Formula 1 car, and they literally over the dunes and you race.
They're shaped nothing like a Formula 1 car.
The one I drove was. I'll show you a picture of it. It looked like a Formula 1 car.
Okay.
Well, Formula A.
With huge wheels and a big roll cage.
No. See, you got it wrong.
Had the huge wheels though, didn't it?
You got it wrong. No, it didn't actually. It was small wheels.
Small wheels.
No, it wasn't those great big beach things.
Did you dream this, Mike?
No, it's true.
Okay.
It's true.
Okay.
And it looked like a Formula 1 car with smallish wheels, but it did have the cage and stuff.
But
I remember taking off. This is what finished me doing.
I've raced these myself before.
I took off, and I'm in the air, and suddenly someone comes right at the back of me. In the air, mid-air, and pushed me. I went straight into the next dune, face in, front in. Not to be back in, not hurt my back. So I stopped doing it after that.
Really?
I was 7'3" when I started doing that. I got small, bouncing against that cage all the time.
Compression. It's like you know the ejector seats they use in jets these days. There's actually an explosive under the seat, and there's actually a special club because not many people have actually had to use them. Thank God. And there's a special club if you've used one and survived, and you all get a tie. But I was watching an interview with about 8 guys who were in this club who have been the only ones to use the ejector seat. And the one thing that came out of the interview is they're all 2 inches shorter because of there's such an explosion.
Yeah.
It compresses your spine, so they're all 2 inches shorter.
Wow. Actually, I used to when I was racing because there was 2 of us in the car. So it's bigger than a Formula 1 car. And the guy who often used to come here was a gay guy. Why am I mixing with gay guys so much? Anyway, and as we sort of took off on these things, all I could hear him saying was, "We're going to die! We're going to die!"
Oh my God.
Every time we were going around a corner on 2 wheels, "We're going to die! We're going to die!" You need someone with you because of balance to keep the thing balanced.
That's why they don't send gay men into war, because they spend most of the time doing the foundation before they hit the front line.
The bullets!
If I'm going to face the enemy, I've got to look my best.
This is the guy who beat me in the Wii boxing. Remember I told you about the Wii boxing?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this story because he knows this story. So anyway, he says, "Big Butch me decides to have a boxing match with my mate Steve."
A wee boxing match.
A wee boxing match, yeah. So
that's almost Scottish. A wee boxing match.
And I'm going like this, non-stop. And I'm really going for him, really giving him a good thumping. And he's going like that. And he beat me. He knocked me out. And his two little hands are going in and out, like that. Not like that. and he slaughtered me.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I could believe it.
No doubt.
Pardon?
Give you a right shafting, did he?
No, I gave him another sex toy to play with.
Oh, right, I see. Lose the boxing, give him a sex toy.
That's the one. By the way, happy birthday, Steve. It's his birthday tomorrow as well. Wish him happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you. Well, they're all pissed. They've got famous idea what we're talking about.
Well, everyone you know is pissed at the minute. Your wife, your friends.
Oh, she was pissed last night. Oh, dear. Was she pissed last night? Unbelievable. I was mentioning earlier, by the way, that kids of mums who use mobiles while pregnant are more likely to have behavioural problems, according to a new report. I'd like to know who writes these reports. Absolutely amazing. Mothers who use handsets around their toddlers, not their todgers, around their toddlers, will cause the same difficulties. The study, the biggest of its kind, needless to say, claims that mobile use regularly for more than 10 years can also increase the risk of brain tumours. I've been using my mobile for more than 10 years now. Some of the other experts urge caution over the report. I'm not surprised. And apparently, research say that kids' brains absorb a greater proportion of radiation emitted by mobiles due to skull formation. The study also says Department of Health guidelines on minimising the use of mobiles amongst children under the age of 16 is not widely publicised. Oh, would you believe all this rubbish? Well, we probably will hear in years to come, we'll be probably gone from this earth, that really mobiles are lethal. Lethal weapons. Really.
Fry the brain.
Yeah, I mean, it should have happened by now, shouldn't it? Remember the old days, well, you may not remember the old days of the original phones, like bricks you were carrying around.
With the pull-out aerial.
Yeah, big brick you were carrying was ridiculous. But they also reckon that men can have a problem with their todgers, actually, with this.
Yes,
makes
them
them
in your
infertile.
pocket and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Because have you noticed that constantly, because I keep thinking my phone's going. Because it's being hit by a beam constantly, isn't it? It gets charged all the time.
There's actually now a syndrome, I can't remember what it's called, and I've got it, and I've spent ages wondering what the hell was going off. I go, oh, my phone's vibrating, I put it out in my pocket, and it wasn't, but they've just, like, the other week, it was in the news about how people have got this thing where they're so used to their phone being in their pocket and vibrating that your leg actually feels like it's vibrating when it's not.
Yeah, well, I've got this in my pocket, constantly in my breast pocket, and I keep getting this sort of zap.
You'll never be able to breastfeed if you keep it there.
Well, I gave that up years ago. And I keep looking at my phone, I think there's a call or there's a message, and there isn't. It's just that it's zapping. Yeah. And then when I take it out of my pocket, I still got the zap there, because I think my body's got used to it.
Yes, that's it. It's the force of habit, in a way, isn't it? It's like a twitch. I read a couple of emails out for me.
Please.
Hi, Mike. It's great to see Sexy Matt back on cam after a weekend of missing him.
I trust you to read that one.
Is he single? Can he wave and say hi to me in that honey-like voice of his, thanks to the great show, Martin in Liverpool? 20 minutes later. I've suddenly gone off Matt after his homophobic comments about there being no room for gays in Formula 1. I didn't realise he was so narrow-minded. I'm not narrow-minded. I just like one thing, to be completely straight. It's not narrow-minded. Why?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to, aren't I? It's like some men don't want women to be involved in football.
Well, that's just selfish too, isn't it?
So we're all selfish in one way or the other, and I'm not narrow-minded. I used to run a gay bar.
Oh, yes. Tell us more.
It was called The Fizz. It was in Leicester. I used to run it with a few friends of mine. And we used to put on club nights and stuff when we were DJing and promoting it around Leicester. And I was there for 9 months before... well, actually, I can't say.
That's like saying, I'm not homophobic, I have lots of gay friends. And they're very
nice.
nice.
Homophobic. I do have lots of gay friends. I just think that I would like to keep Formula 1 away from the gay.
I wonder if we do know of any gays that do drive Formula 1 cars.
There's probably one or two. I don't think... It's like gay footballers, though. It's very hard to come out in that scenario, isn't it? Because
they all share a shower together.
They all share a shower together, yeah.
Or a bath.
And a lot of fans of football.
And they keep dropping this soap all the time. So you want to pick that up for me?
Soap in football?
What?
You are kidding me.
You've got to wash the mud off somehow.
What, mud? None of them get muddy. They don't fall over.
They don't play, do they?
Well, they wear...
So, Martin, I apologise.
He apologised.
I stick by what I said about Formula 1, but I am not narrow-minded.
I used to put on stripper
And
nights
yes, I'm
years
not
ago.
single either.
He's not single. You are. He's very single, and he's got his own private personal cock ring that glows in the dark. By the way.
Oh my God, it's not a cock ring. It's more like a tourniquet or a noose. Let's say it's got a toggle and everything. It's bright orange.
And you see him coming in the dark. That's what it's for.
Yeah, but it's not actually glow in the dark.
Have you tried it in the dark?
Well, I put it under my jumper.
Well, no, it's not the same. Doesn't work.
Well,
that way.
it's dark under here, Mike.
No, it doesn't work that way.
What's
It's got to be a really dark room.
That dark.
No, it's got to be a really dark room.
A really dark room.
Really dark room.
Okay.
But it's great if you're walking down a road in pitch dark and there's no street lights on. Just get your old fella out with your cock ring on, and people see you.
Just sort of swing it round lasso style.
That's right. Yeah,
some sort of beam of light.
Exactly, and then people drive.
That's
around
fantastic
you.
news. Thanks for the advice, Mike.
That's right. Anyway, I used to put these stripper nights on. You see, for women this is, by the way, but the blokes, it was blokes stripping. I found it a lot easier to put on blokes stripping than women stripping, because I did one night with women stripping, and there was a massive fight. The whole place got wrecked. So we only did men stripping after that, and the women love it. They enjoy themselves, and you have a disco, and the women dance with each other. You don't see blokes dance. Well, you might do where you go. But nearly all these guys were gay. The male strippers. They had the biggest I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to bring this thing in tomorrow, this extension thing, this, and it is big. It's probably this size. All right? Make your eyes water. And, but these blokes were like that.
Well, it's not strictly true. They have a...
They're like donkeys.
They have a clear band that acts like a
I know.
cock
I
ring.
was there helping them.
I bet you were. Federer is 2 games to love up in the second set, 1 set to love up, but Murray is 40 love on his break serve. So.
Getting out. He won't come back though. I think it'll be a straight 3-set win.
I think he'll get a set. I hope
Who,
he'll
Murray?
get a set, yeah.
I don't think he will. No.
There you go, he's just broken his serve. He's just broken Federer's serve, so...
It's a lucky one. Very lucky. I think he'll probably break a fingernail later on. He'll want to stop.
Oh dear.
I'm sure that's going to happen. Anyway, so these blokes, they go into the loo, and they all go in there with dirty books and pictures to get themselves aroused.
Yeah.
And they come out to do the strip show, and it is, I'm not joking, I've never seen willies like it in my life. They are donkeys. They don't look real. But you're right, they do. They tie them up very, very tightly right at the base there. It's fun though, isn't it?
I'm just thinking about another man's penis. It's not really me.
She was thinking about another man's penis. Wasn't
She's
her?
always thinking about another man's penis, mainly mine.
He's not going to bring the cock ring in. He still won't bring the cock ring in tomorrow. Guarantee it. I'll bring one in for you. I've got different colour.
I remember. Oh no, hang on, I haven't got. Oh no, it's hers.
Pardon?
I left it at my girlfriend's.
Oh, I'll bring one in for you. I've got another one of those.
No, it's fine, thanks.
No, I'll bring one.
No, Mike.
I shall bring.
Fine.
I shall bring one in for you.
Fine.
Would you like a different colour?
No, I'm fine, thanks. Happy with the one I've got. Thank you. Don't want one. Thanks.
This is the one I forgot to give the boys, so you can have it instead.
No.
Do they come in all different sizes or just
No,
one
just
size?
some colours. It's all one size fits all.
It's got a toggle. You see, it's got a toggle. You push up, so you pull the toggle down, you put it over, and it's elasticated. And you push the toggle up depending on comfort and size. Mind you, I suppose at the base of the penis and testicles, most men are probably about the same size, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, we're not talking about length or girth here or anything. At the base of the penis and testicles, it's probably about the same size.
Do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not looked, have I? I'm just saying it.
There's a woman of experience here. Are they all the same that you've seen?
I don't know. I'm a married woman.
No experience whatsoever, then.
Married woman. Dear Deirdre. As a matter of interest, there's Gordon Brown.
Sorry.
You notice how he's changed? I'm talking about cocks at the moment, so he has changed a lot, hasn't he, since he's become Prime Minister. He's aged. Didn't they age a lot? Like Blair suddenly aged overnight, didn't he, when he became Prime Minister?
Yeah, I just think Gordon Brown is just very nondescript. I even forgot the other day who our Prime Minister was.
Really?
Yeah,
you weren't drinking
he's
with my wife on it, aren't you?
No, because he's got no personality. He's very unforgettable. He's nothing. He's nobody.
He's unforgettable. He's very forgettable, you mean?
Very forgettable, yes. Yeah. Sorry.
It's all right.
Unforgettable.
Right.
That's what I...
He's an idiot, really, isn't he, Gordon Brown?
Yes.
Bit of a bloody idiot.
Well, no, he handled the finances of this country like an immigrant. He was useless. He was probably one of the worst chancellors we've ever had in this country. And he's probably the same as the Prime Minister. At least he's consistent. Isn't he?
Consistently crap.
Exactly, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what the TUC decide to do, because they reckon the unions are going to send us back to 1979, which would be great if we went back to 1979, start all over again.
That's when I was born, 1979.
Are you really?
Yeah.
God, you're young.
Not really, nearly 30.
My son was born in 1970.
God, you're old.
Actually, I was a child bride. I was very, very young when he was born.
You say child bride. Child to me says 10 and lower.
That's 12.
That's not too bad. Almost a teenager.
Believe that, you believe anything. Apparently 1 million public sector workers plan a new winter of discontent. Something to look forward to, isn't it? Piling more pressure on Gordon Brown. Unions last night threatened 3 months of strike starting in November. To hit schools, they're going to be pleased. Bin collections, been through this one before. Benefit offices, that's fine, it means foreigners can't get money. And government departments, which wouldn't know any difference.
I'm sorry, I don't know who these people think they are who are going to strike for months at a time for schools. I don't know what they think they're trying to gain. Actually, in my opinion, what they're actually doing is proving how selfish and stupid they really are.
Yeah. More than 270,000 civil servants of the PC's union will be balloted this month. NUT teachers, I know you're talking about teachers there, will also vote on repeating their April strike, the first in 20 years. And 600,000 from public sector union Unison, who staged a 2-day walkout this summer, could take strike action if pay talks fail. Everyone wants more money. They all want money, money, money. Well, we're going to have a break, shall I?
Why not?
All right, then. Tony Blair when he started?
No. A bit sort of cheesy and puppet-like, isn't he?
If it's cheesy, you meant to wash it. But, apparently it's meant to be right. Fair enough. Don't know where that one came from. I do apologise. Wouldn't meant to say that one at all. We're going to get Sandy Derva on in a moment, all the way from the US of A. She's involved in Homeland Security, would you believe, for the Americans. She's the reason why people haven't got passports. No, I think she's forced people into getting passports.
Really?
In America, yeah. Which would be interesting. You know, I completely forgot what I was going to do now. It's 4 minutes. I forgot what I was talking about. That's right, the sexually attracted men. And we were going to ask people to ring in with regional accents or with just do anything, any sort of impersonation of anybody you want between now and midnight on. I forgot my numbers. I bet you don't know the numbers, do you?
01243 55 60 60.
How do you know?
Well, it's my job to know, isn't it?
Okay. The email address?
studio@playradiouk.com.
You've got it written down here somewhere.
No.
You're not making this up as you go, you've got it written down.
I have not.
I don't believe you. Okay, Skype?
Okay, play.radio.uk.
Yeah, well done. And if you want to watch us,
www.nttbs.com.
Spot on. Well done. And click the word.
And click watch.
100%, well done. Pretty blooming good, that one. I'll wait till Matt comes in before I read the next one, because it's quite a good one, actually, from Peter in Birmingham. He was not quite so angry now, by the way, apparently. He seems to have calmed down a bit, which is quite nice. We will be talking to Sandy Derva in half a moment over there in America, and find out exactly what is going on and what she's up to. She's doing something very exciting very soon.
Is she?
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask her, but she's probably listening right now, and I'll find out. We will know all in a moment. I was wondering about the TUC, wasn't I, and all the strikes they're going to come along with. I'm so anti-strikes, and I say one thing. I've been saying this for years and years and years, and I will continue to say this, that if you don't like the job you're in, then leave it and let somebody else do the job, because there's plenty of people that want to do it. And I get so pissed off when, like BA strike, when you see people at British Airways who just want to totally screw up people's holidays, people who probably scrimped and saved to go away, business people who have got work to do, to be totally stuffed by idiots that work for BA, who suddenly decide, we'll have a few days off and have a strike. And when someone from the union came out and said, we want to bring BA to its knees, do you really want people working for you that want to bring you to your knees? Again, I find that absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Who would want to bring any employer to their knees? If you don't like the job, then obviously you leave and you go somewhere else. What's wrong with people that would want to do that type of thing? I know if I didn't enjoy what I was doing, I would just go and I'd find myself something else. Mad. You may have your thoughts as well. It's 01243 55 60 60. 01243 55 60 60. Are you pro-union? I think Thatcher did a brilliant job. That's one thing she did do that was right. 100% correct. The way she put the hold, almost the grip on unions, stop their power. And maybe unions should be banned altogether. If you are a worker and you've got a beef with your employer, then you have it out with them. If the employer is unreasonable and you leave, you make sure other people know how bad things are, and you make sure other people don't want to work for them. And it's easily done. Very easily done. Oh, let me quickly read this now that Matt's arrived back.
Okay.
Can I say one thing, like, that Sally is looking really nice with her hair dyed blonde and very attractive tonight, and it's nice to hear Matt being nice to Sally tonight for a change. And there's some happy Peter who's in Birmingham.
Oh, poor old Fiona.
Poor Fiona. So Sally's not here this week?
No, she's not.
She's off all week. We've got Fiona here all week.
We've got Fiona here today and tomorrow, and then she'll be in on Thursday when I'm away.
She's here this Wednesday?
She might be, I don't know.
She's here Wednesday.
Oh, well, she's here Wednesday. Somebody who's here right now, though, is Christopher from West Wickham on Skype.
Not the Christopher with the funny light in the background?
Yes, that's the one.
Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Mike.
How are you?
Hungry.
Are you? Why?
I'm always hungry.
Oh, is that the reason why? You're always just hungry?
Yeah.
No other excuse?
I have got a serious point to make, but before that, you might hear some vicious rumours tonight that I've been listening to Why by Carly Simon.
That's not a vicious rumour?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Are you anti-Carly Simon?
No,
Carly Simon?
But, I'm an 18-year-old guy. I shouldn't really be listening to Carly Simon.
Why not?
I shouldn't really be listening to XTC, but there you go.
Do you know, I know a guy who's not much older than you, who's probably probably your age, and he's a great Beatles fan.
Mm.
So, I mean, that's not so bad, is it?
Well, no, because everybody likes the Beatles.
Everybody likes the Beatles.
And everybody likes Queen.
Yes, well, I know somebody who likes Queens more than others. As well.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Matt doesn't want them driving cars, does he?
Yeah, that's right. Just generalise it even more, Chris.
You know why? Because when they give hand signals, they just wave like that out the window.
Right, yeah.
Just wave like that out the window.
Gay men don't indicate.
Right.
You said you rang for a serious topic.
Yeah. So I'd be more impressed if these people said they were striking for better work conditions.
I hear what you say, but let me quickly put a point to you. When you take on the job, you know exactly what your conditions are. You know what the pay is, you know what the conditions are, you know what the job entails. If you don't like it, don't stay. Surely that's the only way.
But it's like teachers, for instance. Now, the teachers themselves will presumably have experienced teachers when they were young, but of course the whole thing's changed now. And the way I see some teachers that were at my school, they had a lot of paperwork to do, and a lot of kids that were misbehaving that they couldn't punish because they aren't allowed to punish them.
You make a good point, but surely the teachers going on strike punishes the kids who don't need punishing.
Yeah.
Surely when a teacher takes on the job of educating, they are technically role models, and if they're role models to the children by saying, well, let's strike.
Yeah.
Is that such a wonderful idea?
Yeah, if we can't get what we want, we put our foot down.
Yeah. They're being more childish than anything.
Well, like I said, they're going on strike for pay and not for better work conditions, so, it's
So, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, Chris. I can understand where you're coming from. But, I mean, nobody applies for a teacher's job and gets told that all the kids are angelic and that you have no paperwork. I mean, for God's sake, teachers get, 12 weeks a year holiday paid?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got friends who are teachers. They spend 2 weeks of that holiday. They get 6 weeks in the summer. They spend 2 weeks of that doing marking and work and stuff. They get 4 weeks paid holiday in the summer alone, and that's not mentioning Christmas or anything like that. I mean, these guys have got it pretty good.
Yeah, but during some of those holidays, they're going to be doing a lot of marking.
No,
they make a big deal about marking.
2 weeks out of 6, mate, and they still got 4 weeks to do what they like and get paid for it. If I took 4 weeks off work, I would not get paid, and I would not have a job when I came back.
I suppose when you bring in the holiday perspective, I suppose it does beg the question: why are they striking quite so in quite such a big way?
Well, because they're selfish, and that's what it is. When a teacher goes on strike, that's what it is. It's pure selfishness.
Do
you agree?
Well, in some cases, I think some teachers really get annoyed. But yeah, I suppose it's like you said, that they went into that job presumably knowing what it was going to be like.
Yeah. I mean, the teaching profession, get my teeth in right, teaching profession hasn't changed an awful lot over the time.
I suppose the teacher has less power.
Exactly. Chris, I've got to move on, my friend. We're about to cross over to the US of A.
That's fantastic. I can't even do that, and I'm the band leader. Well, the Mike Mendoza show where we got the Mike Mendoza boogie. Here's a little boogie gonna play for you. Ain't nothing to it, it's easy to do. It's the Mendoza boogie. Mendoza boogie. It's the Mendoza boogie. Mendoza boogie. Well, the Mendoza boogie, play it all day long. Don't know what to do cause it's getting late, so we come on here cause it's so great. It's the Mendoza boogie. Mendoza boogie. It's the Mendoza boogie.
Well, as we all makes the Jive Aces. In fact, we just got back from America. And we're going off to America now to a lady who's been involved in so many things in the travel industry in America for so many years. Also very much involved with Homeland Security now, because she's on the Committee of Homeland Security, keeping the borders not necessarily free and open, but certainly keeping the borders tight, I guess. And it's Sandy Derva. Hello, Sandy.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Loving the show today.
It's fun and games, isn't it, really?
It certainly is good stuff.
I've seen you drink a few times as well.
You certainly have.
Over the years, Sandy, I tell you what, you can knock them back for a little one.
Now, Mike, you're not broadcasting live, are you?
Of course, of course we are. Naturally, you've been watching it live, I assume.
Yeah, sure. We listen to you. You know, the format is great. I mean, this Play Radio is a nice station. I never heard of it before, and really delighted we came onto it from you.
Well, you just thrilled me when you said about the format. I didn't even know we had a format. You know, we just do it as we go along. Do you know, when I walked in, Matt, who's my producer, and Fiona as well, I said, what are we going to do on the show? I said, I haven't the faintest idea. And it probably comes across that way, I suppose, as we turn on.
Form. I mean, you know, you've been on radio for a long time. Isn't that the way you walk in all the time?
Yeah, I've never actually prepared anything on my shows, as a lot of people notice, as it's quite obvious. And the phone's only what I'm talking about half the time. I make it up as I go along, and just hope for the best.
He spends a lot of time talking about sex toys.
Do you mind? Sandy knows. Well, I send them all over to Sandy after I finish with them. So it's all right. That's why she's always got a smile on her face. Have you seen Sandy's picture on the internet, by the way?
No.
Travel Talk. Is it TravelTalkRadio.com?
It's TravelTalkRadio.com or TravelTalkMedia.com or TravelTalkTV.com. We got them all.
It's the biggest website in the world, by the way, with literally thousands of pages in.
What, actually the biggest website in the world?
It is. It is, Sandy, stop arguing.
It's big for what we got going on. I mean, certainly you got a lot of sites out there huge, but for travel, it's a nice little resource.
Sandy, you know, I make things up as I go along, and that's totally right. You know, you are the biggest website in the world. Trust me. Trust me.
I'm not the biggest girl in the world. I don't care.
I don't think you are. Sandy, Homeland Security, why are you making it so difficult for us to come and visit you and have a nice holiday?
Oh, Mike, isn't it something? You know, life is very filled with challenges. And honestly, the advisory committee, the name of the advisory committee I'm on is called Secure Borders and Open Doors, which is truly an oxymoron. So right away we have, you know, a challenge going into this thing. So, you know, it's a slow-moving machine. Bottom line, they want to be secure and safe for people who live here. But, you know, secondary, we've got to keep the borders open, and we've got to keep, you know, the trade coming in, and certainly our families and our friends. So it really is. It's a challenge for us.
But it always has been. It's always been tight to get into the States anyway. And as time goes on, it just seems to have got worse. I mean, after 9/11, it's obvious you're going to have security is going to be incredibly tight. But surely isn't it time to relax things a little bit, or are you just getting a little bit tighter?
Well, I mean, if you study what we're doing, we think we're doing, certainly where I'm standing or sitting, I think we're doing a very good job, because I watched what we've actually implemented and the recommendations that my committee has done. They went out 2 years ago, Condoleezza Rice and Michael Chertoff, and they looked for 18 of us around the country that might be able to recommend something that might be different than what they're seeing from inside the departments. So we get together, and certainly, I mean, we have people like Herb Kelleher, who is the founder of Southwest Airlines. We have J.W. Marriott on the committee. So we have a lot of people who have, I mean, it goes on and on, the list, from the universities, the health communities. But certainly we've got some really interesting, great people who have a lot to offer. But, certainly it takes a lot to move this machine. And over the last, 14, 15 months, we've made recommendations that we are seeing implemented. And we're seeing them, like, for example, when you come into the model ports. And I know, Mike, when you came into San Diego, that's a small little it's an international airport, but it's a small airport. And, you're not always set up like you are if you go, like, to Dulles or JFK or Los Angeles. And that's where we've really done what we call the model ports. That's where we've really put together, the new, gizmos that we hope make life better and easier for everybody. And that includes, we're going towards, the 10 fingerprint. We're going towards the iris. We're going towards, certainly we are doing the 10 fingerprint now. But we've also, put together different lines to accommodate different kinds of people, as far as if you're a family or if you're just traveling for business.
Sandy, as a matter of interest, Sandy, hold on. Does everybody have to give the fingerprints, including children?
Mike, as far as the fingerprints, if you don't have them when you come in, you'll get them. And I think the children even get them too. Now, I don't know, there's certainly, obviously, got to be an age a baby can't do that because the prints won't even be there. Mm-hmm. But certainly, I'm sure they know when that age is, when the fingerprints start showing. So I'm sure that...
The other thing, of course, is when you go to some ports, San Diego, for example, it's your right and your left index fingers. Other areas take more than one finger. Why is it not the same in every airport?
Well, certainly you've got municipalities. There's the federal law, and then there's the national law. So you've got certainly the states and the federal government. So the federal government will have a certain amount of security that they have to have that is mandatory. Then municipalities in different areas could add on their own. So that's why you're going to see a little bit of difference. And also, they're rolling it out in different places at different times.
Uh-huh.
So, you can call them a pilot program if you want, but a lot of times things are happening at different times just to test the market, to see how it's received, if the flow goes better, if the calm is there, keeping the bark, a little bit less. There's a lot of things that we're trying to do to just keep people, basically moving faster.
Okay, Sandy, hang on 2 seconds. I'm on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue talking to Sandy Derva from Travel Talk Radio, and also on the Committee of Homeland Security as well for the US of A. Quick break. When I come back, we'll even open the phone lines, 01243 55 60 60. Email us, studio@playradiouk.com, and of course, Skype, play.radio.uk.
Mike Mendoza.
Welcome back, 22 minutes past 11. Mike Mendoza with you till midnight tonight. You're listening to Play 2 UK, covering, of course, the whole of the world. Not just the UK. Everywhere in the world is listening to us right now. Mm-hmm. And looking at the number of clicks on the computer there, millions of you are suddenly tuned in. Suddenly. What happened? I don't know. Why so many millions? I do not know.
They just installed the internet in Mongolia.
Tomorrow, by the way, we've got some great guests coming on, including LaDonna Harvey, of course, who is a little bit like a female Howard Stern. So beware, anything could happen. She's actually based in San Diego, as, of course, is Sandy Derva, who's on the line right now. Sandy, you're still there.
I got company here, you mean?
Tomorrow, yeah. That's tomorrow. We'll be talking to the other good lady. Indeed. Now, Sandy, the other thing, of course, is airlines. I know we're going to be following this a bit more tomorrow, but a number of airlines are going to the wall, and sadly, your new link to the UK has already gone.
Can you believe that, Mike? How sorry are we?
Yeah.
We're not.
Why?
Well, I think that it's a difficult business in the first place. I mean, look at the U.S. airlines, the legacy airlines here. But yet you look at the darling, what we call the darling, the low-cost carrier, the Southwest Airlines. That airline is doing wonderfully. Of course, they hedged their fuel, years and years ago, which was very, very smart to do. and they got the model right. Zoom, I don't know. They seem to talk the walk. I mean, didn't they tell you too? They were opening up markets very carefully.
Exactly. Yeah. You remember the interview with them?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, they seemed confident at that. That was 2 months ago.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then Silverjet, went out of sight about 3 months ago, and we were very sorry about that. A business class airline.
I just realised.
We were just on the A380, the Emirates.
Oh yeah,
Airbus.
That's right. Yeah, that's flying nicely at the moment as well. Beautiful aircraft, absolutely. But I just noticed the common link here, Sandy, is that the two airlines you've just mentioned have gone bust. Two airlines you actually use. Now I wonder if there is some.
You're going to get to that, Mike. Well, and the other thing is, we were just up on the Emirates one. Guess how much that is? The business class. The first class, $20,000 US to Dubai.
But have you seen it? Have you been inside the first class?
Yeah.
It's a room. It is a room with a shower.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's exactly that. It's beautiful, and I hope that was not voodoo I did by using that airline, because I wasn't in the $20,000 seat.
Well,
I was, I think, in the $15,000 seat. They were very nice to put me in that first.
Well, I hope they survive, because my son's actually a captain with them, so I hope that it works well.
I hope so too. I like Emirates. I like the company. I like what they stand for. I like what they're doing with the resorts too. That's a whole new entity.
Oh yeah,
nice.
yeah. Well, they're one of the few countries in the world can afford it, or one of the few airlines in the world that can afford it. They've actually ordered 44 of the new Airbuses, by the way. Yes,
in fact, I thought it was more, but yeah, I heard it was like 56.
Well, listen, we're going to afford that over 12 planes.
Well, isn't that amazing? And I mean, these things are done. Each
airline, instructs how they want Airbus to, do the inside. And they spared nothing on that inside. I mean, there's beautiful, beautiful inlaid wood all around each window seal. I mean, everything is perfect. It's like you're sitting in the most luxurious apartment, like you said.
Well, we had a look at a beautiful motorhome before that's made in Germany, and it sounds just like that. You just described it beautifully.
Yes, yeah. Are you looking at Motorhome?
Yeah, we were. We were looking on the internet earlier on tonight.
That's interesting. On my show this week, I've got a gal. She's
oh, excuse me. Bless you.
In a beautiful reconfigured motorhome, motor coach around the country, and great lady. Funny story.
Well, funny enough, it was a coach we were looking at. It was like a motor coach. It was absolutely beautiful, indeed. So, are you going away soon?
I am. I've got a big trip. In fact, I'm coming to London in November. But before that, I'll be in Holland. I'm at the International Institute for Peace Through Tourism. I'll be doing a panel there. And then I'll be moving into Albania. And I will be doing work with Mrs. Topi, the First Lady, on our First Ladies tours.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll go into Egypt, and I'll be working with the American Tourism Society. But before I do all that, Mike, I'm going to go to South Korea in about 3 weeks, and we're signing a huge agreement with a new Chinese TV station, a TV network.
Fantastic.
So, very good stuff we're doing.
Well, it makes a change for an American go somewhere like China or to Korea and not threaten to bomb the shit out of them, because, they're quite used to Americans doing that.
Not threaten to bomb the shit out of them or ask for money.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be pleased to see you. Have you been to Albania before, by the way?
I've never been to Albania. Have you?
Oh, it's horrible, yes.
Oh, you know what they say about Albania? There's a lot of Albanians live there.
Well, there's nothing worse than being in Albania surrounded by Albanians.
I'll tell you something, Sandy. I've never seen a poorer country than Albania. I've never seen people with almost hollow looks on their faces. It was the most terrifying experience of my life going there.
Now, how long ago was that, Mike?
I was there for the bombing of Kosovo. I went there to watch it. I was actually working...
Did you buy front row seats? Did you get them on eBay, or was the tickets out at the border?
I'll tell you what, it scared the shit out of me going over there as the bombers are going over, and you hear the noise of the bombs dropping. It was not pleasant at all, but hopefully it's nice and quiet there these days.
Well, that's where we come in. We go to these emerging markets. I mean, we call it now the Big Mac area. Montenegro, Albania, Kosovo, Croatia, those are the areas that are emerging. We think that, they're going to be coming alive. Certainly Croatia, if you haven't been there yet or lately, I tell you, that is a dream come true.
Oh, that is...
Life should be,
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's got the best beaches in the world at Croatia.
Well, I was in Croatia literally 2 or 3 days after the war finished. We went over there to cover that, and that was fascinating. And I cried when I was there to see a country that is so close to the UK, living the same way as we do, and they did have the hell bombed out of them. Absolutely awful, unbelievable. I'm going to move on, Sandy. Listen, it's been great talking to you.
Great talking to you too, Mike.
You keep well.
Take care. We love you guys, and keep it going.
And you keep the America safe. And God bless America.
Come on over, everybody. We'd love to have you in. The line's so long.
All the best.
All the best. Bye-bye.
See you soon. That's the lovely Sandy Derva from Travel Talk Radio.
Are we opening the lines for a bit of random madness?
Yeah, if you want to go mad, it's easy. It's 01243 55 60 60. Email us, studio@playradiouk.com, and of course Skype, play.radio.uk. And a gentleman who I know, well, in the past
He's your biggest fan.
Hated me with a vengeance. Another yank bastard. We'll say hello to him. Hello, Mr. Steve.
Hello. I never said I hated you, although I thought I was calling James Whale today.
You were on holiday last week, I hear. Did you have a good time?
Yes, I did. I was over at the Finger Lakes. Perhaps you've heard of them?
Never.
Nope.
It's new. Matt, you may have heard of Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
That's in the Finger Lakes.
Oh, I see.
It's also New York State wine country. Watkins Glen, for those of you who don't know, is an international racetrack.
Why do they call it the Finger Lakes? Is that something to
Because
do with
there's
where
5
young
of
children make their... Because there's 5 of them.
And they're shaped like... I mean, you know, it's... If you saw them, you'd know why.
Was it nice?
Yeah, it was really nice. There's like 300 vineyards up there. We got some great wine, and yeah, it was excellent.
You could have taken my wife with you, 'cause she loves a drink.
Yeah.
You're desperate to get rid of her, aren't you?
Well, my wife.
You're
She did
branding
ask.
her an alcoholic.
She is an alcoholic. Oh. She's absolutely a total alcoholic. Everywhere I go, there's bottles, empty bottles everywhere.
Wow.
Terrible. I've got to live with it.
No, but I never did say I hated you. In fact, you know, I actually, once you heard the original conversation, you could tell I was mostly doing it to just wind Matt up.
Didn't work, though, did it?
Oh, yeah, you were getting all upset.
Yeah, I was terribly upset, wasn't I?
But the thing is, your description of me made its way to other websites, you see. And
I know, you do obviously have some friends out there.
Oh, yeah. Great friends they are, yeah. So did you call for a reason?
Yeah, well, I'm a member of a union, and...
the Musicians Union?
No, the Writers Guild of America.
Oh, of course, you're a writer as well, I keep forgetting.
You're striking as well, a lot recently, aren't you?
We were striking, yes.
Yeah, but writers on strike doesn't affect education.
Oh, hold on. If you were on strike as a writer, did anyone actually notice?
Well, yes,
With
because
me, not really.
Well, we noticed the strike was happening because suddenly Lost and Heroes went off our TV.
Oh, is that why? But was it worth it, though? Was the strike worth it at the end of the day?
Yes, yeah, it actually was, because like someone like me who isn't currently working on a job and makes mostly royalties, I have been seeing like a larger check every month.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah, larger check is always useful.
I can imagine, yeah. But I mean, most of the time, look at the amount of time that you guys were not working. How long did the strike go on for? 6 months? 6 months?
6 months there.
Okay, so
yeah.
6 months with no money coming in at all. You've got to work pretty hard to get that money back again that you lost over that 6 month period. And Steve,
well,
with all due respect, your age, you could be dead tomorrow.
I think the strike came at the right time for Steve, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I had just moved to Atlanta. I was planning on starting an independent production company anyway, so it didn't really matter for me. But, you see, the difference between a writer being on strike is you don't stop writing, really.
Yeah.
You just stop writing for money.
Yeah. Of course, no, I realise what you mean. Well, you could carry on writing
sell
and
the
hold your
stuff
work,
at the end.
You could hold your work back.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, well, obviously a lot of people did.
Yeah, but then they had it.
As a matter of interest, during this strike, during the sort of 6 months of nothing coming out, what did the television companies do? Though I know they put a lot of repeats on, which obviously they were going to do.
And they started back certain shows without writers. Like I have a friend who writes for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and they went back on the air without their writers.
I'm with you. I mean, there was a time here when voiceover artists went on strike. There was an equity strike against a lot of the television companies here who weren't paying actors enough money for voiceovers and commercials. And
does that include the guy who did Jerry Adams' voice? I
assume so. I'm the faintest idea, to be honest with you. But what happened was that they ended up using animation, and more animation was used than actors, and the actors missed out at the end of the day.
Ah. But still, wouldn't you have to have voiceover for animation?
Yeah. But I think you'll find it wasn't actually proper voiceover artists doing the jobs.
Ah.
They were using non-names. People are not members of the unions were doing it. Ah. You see, don't forget, when Margaret Thatcher...
notice the difference, though. I mean, people, at least with the professional writers in the U.S., people notice the difference.
Yeah, I suppose, listen, it's like Matt who writes with crayons compared to you guys who would actually use a proper pen or a computer. If you know what I mean. Or was that overused? Yeah, you understand that. But you know, my opinion has always been the same. If the conditions and the pay are not good enough for a job that you initially took on, you know exactly what you were getting, how can you complain about it afterwards?
Well, you don't know exactly what you're getting when you start a job. You make an agreement, and if your employer keeps up to that, then you shouldn't have a problem. But if your employer defaults on their original agreement, you need to have someone to stand up for you.
Yeah, but more often than not, workers want more than the original agreement, don't they, as time goes on?
Well, that's really a generalization, and, you know, the agreement originally may have been that when you get it to a certain point, you get more money. You know, most companies have raises after every year.
Not in this country, we don't. We haven't for a long time.
We've got David James joining us on Skype, Steve. Wanted to ask a question.
The goalie from Portsmouth?
Hello, no, not Portsmouth. The same first two letters, Poland.
You're in Poland?
Yeah, I'm in Poland. Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you. Can you hear him, Steve?
Yes, loud and clear.
I wanted to ask you, Steve, when you were on strike, did you or any other writers ever get tempted to sort of like put in rogue endings for different serials and things like giving nasty deaths to all the people on Lost, for example, or really making odd plot twists that would be very difficult for anybody else to ever get the characters back out of if they brought in an extra team of writers who weren't on strike?
That's an interesting question because I don't think anyone ever considered that you'd be able to get scab writers to come in and finish off even a shitty show, never mind something like Lost.
Oh, Lost is a shitty show.
So you never sort of actually thought of doing rogue plots as part of what they call industrial action?
Well, I think of a lot of things, but that's not one of them.
I think it was in Not the 9 O'Clock News when, or was it? I think it was not the 9 O'Clock News. Once had this sketch of the speechwriter for Ronald Reagan getting pissed off with him, and then reading something, making him read out something afterwards, which said, "Isn't it amazing that an idiot such as this can become president of the United States?"
Well, they got one now.
Does anyone who's seen that show remember?
I bet a lot of people probably remember Not the 9 O'Clock News. Did it fly in America?
They made a American version in it, which in fact my friend Tommy Koenig was in the pilot. It was called Not Necessarily the News, and that's where Rich Hall launched his career.
Rich Hall, he's a very, very funny guy.
Yeah, he's now big in the UK.
Did it get syndicated?
It was on HBO for 5 years, but no, you don't ever see it again. But it, like not the 9 O'Clock News, it was probably very current and wouldn't work in reruns.
Well, the best things that have actually kept on after Not the 9 O'Clock News were the songs that they did. I don't know if you can still remember any of them. Things like, this I like trucking and I like to truck, and then Ayatollah, don't come any closer, and things like that. Do you remember those? And the Cunnilingus song.
I don't remember any of those.
The Americans have a great knack of stealing...
They're all on YouTube if you want to refresh your memory, Mike.
The Americans have a great knack of stealing good British telly and ruining, don't they, Steve?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you guys give us things like Monk and Diagnosis Murder.
But, you know, there's good stuff like Lost and Heroes. And,
Lost is not good.
Oh, Lost is awesome.
Lost
and Curb
is
Your
awful.
Enthusiasm.
Curb
is
Your
great.
Enthusiasm is one of the most genius bits of program making I've seen in a very long time.
And Family Guy.
Love it.
I don't regularly watch it, but whenever I'm like at like a hotel or a place which doesn't have like all the cable channels, I'll tune in and just laugh my ass off.
Yeah, what have you been smoking?
Steve, as a matter of interest, how political correct must you be in your writing? Can you get away with virtually anything over there?
Well, it's weird because, you know, it's like I never attempt to be politically correct, but people would argue that I'm sort of naturally politically correct. But, you know, you have to make sure you don't offend people, like when you write for certain venue. Like I once wrote for the Ford company for a car show. And I had a joke about Amish people. And they made me take it out. And I'm like, these people don't drive cars. They're not going to come to the show and be offended.
And if they do, then so be it.
Yeah. But, you know, they were paying a lot more money than, you know, most jobs, so they tell you what to do.
I'm surprised that you got a job with anyone dealing with Ford.
Why is that? My father-in-law worked for Chevy for 35 years.
Well, Chevy's okay, but what's his name? Henry Ford was violently anti-Semitic, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, yeah, that's true.
He wouldn't have a Jew near the place.
Yes. Probably had a few.
In the closet, they were.
Yes.
Closet Jews.
Like the Formula One driver.
Listen, guys, we've got to move on, but thanks a lot for the call. We appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
All the best to you. Thanks for that. That's two people at once.
Indeed.
Very painful. It's 20 to 12 already. Another break.
The perfect...
So crazy in here. Now, we're going to take calls on screen straight to air. How about that? What a great idea. What did I think of that one? And if you can do an impersonation of someone else's accent, you are very welcome. Maybe you can do Fat Steve. If you can do a really good American accent, and aren't the English awful at doing American accents, but nearly as bad as Americans doing an English accent? I think the Americans doing an English accent is diabolical. Absolutely awful. Why do people employ Americans as actors to be English? Why not just employ English actors?
Absolutely.
And why is it so many plays? I know you obviously go to quite a few shows, I guess. Why is it plays in the West End or wherever you go? And it's a show that's basically an American show. Why are they going to put on these stupid American accents? I don't understand it.
No.
You know, it's being played in England. Have an English accent. I find that rather weird. My number's 01243 55 60 60. If you can do a really bad American accent or a good American accent, give me a shout. Must be getting late. Losing my voice now as well. It's terrible. You get to this stage. When you get to my age, you've got to be very, very careful. 01243 55 60 60. The lines were going just now, and they suddenly stopped for a second, but they're coming back again. This is line 4. Hello there.
Na-ni-na-ni-na. Na-ni-na-ni-na.
Was that an American accent?
Not sure.
Not really sure about that one, no. Definitely not. But if you can do an American accent, give me a shout. Maybe you're an American. You'd like to try an English accent. I'll ask Steve to do one for us. See what he sounded like on there. And I was telling some awful wife-type jokes earlier because my wife actually dresses to kill. She cooks in the same way as well, by the way, for what it's worth. That was a Henny Youngman joke he told many years ago as well. And I mentioned before I haven't spoken to my wife for 18 months. Did I tell you about that?
Yes, you've done that one.
Yeah, don't like to interrupt her. Just after anyway, after a quarrel, a wife said to her husband, "You know, I was a fool when I married you." The husband replied, "Yes, dear, but I was in love and didn't notice." Yeah, fair enough.
Very good.
And this one here from Henny Youngman says, "I bought my wife a new car. She called and said, 'There's water in the carburetor.' I said, 'Where's the car?' She said, 'In the lake.'" That was quite obvious that was going to be that, wasn't it? Straight to air, this is line 2. Hello.
Hi. That just one moment ago, that was Christopher from West Wickham, in my opinion, doing the instrumentality from Carly Simon's "Why."
Oh, is that what it was? I love the American accent.
That's what it was. It was "Why." He went "na-ni-na-ni-na." That's from Carly Simon's "Why."
Thank you very much indeed. I thank you for putting us straight on it.
That's my pleasure.
And what part of America are you from, sir?
Well, I'm from the deep south, from Alabama. That's the heart of America.
That's where all the whores are, isn't it?
That's right. That's where the whores are. That's why they call it the Heart of America.
I love it. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you, sir. Hello, this is Little America.
Oh, yeah.
Hello there.
Hello, Mr. Mike Mendoza. I'm going to do an impression. You've got to guess who I'm doing an impression of.
Okay.
A very good evening to... Oh, I can't do it. I was going to do an impression of you, but I've just suddenly lost the moment.
You lost it, didn't you?
Hello, I'm Mike Mendoza. That's more like it, isn't it? Call me tonight on whatever the number is. I don't know it. I would have done it in this impression had I have known it.
Yeah.
Very good evening to you. Yes, it's quite a dull and boring... Well, hello, Matt.
Hello, Julian Clary, shirts lifted while you wait.
Anyway, so do carry on, yes.
Hello, Matt.
No, he's not here. He's died.
Oh, that's quite a shame. He was quite an integral part of the show. I'm sure.
Is he? Well, I'll give you the details of the funeral later on, and you can actually come along. You're invited.
I think I might be the only one there.
Well, I know he's very popular. You will be wearing his cock ring at the time when we do lay him to rest.
I can't wait. I'll do my Duncan Bannatyne impression if you want.
Yeah, please. Yeah, like some sort of First Nation we can actually understand.
I don't like your idea, and I'm out.
Yeah, fine. Okay. If anyone can actually do a impersonation, give us a shout. It's 01243 55 60 60, 01243 55 60 60. Sad, isn't it, really? Can you impersonate anybody?
I'm not very good.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that one. That was a good one.
Let me have a go at, I'm the only gay in the village. It's not very good.
No,
I said I couldn't do them.
You're quite right. At least you know how far you can go and how far you can't go. Which can't be bad. What's Ricky Simon looking at me like that for? See? I'll just made you. Can you hear us in there? No, you can't. You're listening to your own programme, aren't you?
I hope not.
Is he listening to his own programme in there?
I don't know.
What is he doing there? Does he know what he's doing in there?
I don't know.
No?
Don't know.
He's playing bingo.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
I just called a number, but he didn't hear a thing.
Is that like Two Fat Ladies?
Yeah, what is Two Fat Ladies?
88,
Is
isn't
it really? I don't know.
I
I've been
think
to bingo
so.
for years. I did bingo calling for a while as well, funny enough. I thought I've got the voice for bingo calling. I did get fired after the third night, but I enjoyed it when I did it. No, I didn't get fired at all, actually. But it was... I usually do get fired wherever I go, but it's good fun at the time. 01243 55 60 60 if you want to join in. We are looking for someone to do an impersonation. You did very good Rolf Harris's the other day, by the way. Wasn't that good? But it sounded all right at the time. That is someone shagging like Rolf Harris, of course, as he went along there. Which was rather good, actually. You've obviously been there as well, wasn't you? You weren't the one, were you? Are you sure?
No, I don't think it was.
Okay. I told you I got on tomorrow night because I've got some really good guests coming on tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to LaDonna Harvey, who's, say, the female Howard Stern from San Diego. Also, Sarah Tucker's going to join us tomorrow. She writes absolutely filthy books.
Does she?
Very dirty books.
Oh, very dare she.
And I'm looking forward to that one as well. Hello, line 2.
Well, you know, life's a bitch, and then you're talking about striking.
It's Fat Steve, impersonator. That was very good.
Yes.
That's the best one so far. You sure it's not really Fat Steve?
No, it's me, Christopher from West.
Who still sounds like Fat Steve.
You know.
Yes, that's very good. I enjoyed that. Thank you for that one. Hello, this is the impersonation line.
Good evening. Did I hear somebody try and do a Geordie accent just now, like?
No.
I think it was Welsh.
Is that not?
It was meant to be Welsh.
That was meant to be Welsh.
No, it's a very...
That's all right, then I thought they were trying to do a Geordie accent, like, kind of data. I was going to see your Mac. I'm like...
Yeah, lad.
But if they're supposed to be Welsh, then I suppose that's all right. It's different now what Welsh sounds like.
I don't know.
It's, here it goes. I'm the only gay in the village. We still can't do it, right? If anyone can actually do it for us, now, we both lost it totally. Can you do a gay in the village?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm the only gay in the village.
Well, that was a lot better.
That was better.
That was better than either of us, actually.
I'm the only gay in
Well,
the
I
village.
can speak a little bit of Welsh, so it helps, you know, if you can say Llanfair Pwllgwengell Gogerich when Drobos Llantis Leo Gogo Goch, then it helps.
How's it go?
I've got a couple of gay Rottweilers. They don't They don't attack intruders, they just drag them into the box room and loosen their clothing.
Yes.
That was that Julian Clary, now, wasn't it?
It wasn't. He's the only gay in the village, too.
I think he was the only gay in his village. I think that's quite correct.
I think so, too. If anyone else can do a very good gay in the village impersonation, I'd be very grateful. Steve is trying to call us on Skype. Do you know how to answer that?
I do.
You do? Oh. Ready? Steady.
Okay.
Are you there, Steve? You're back.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad.
With my wife, I don't get no respect. I made a toast on her birthday to the best woman a man ever had. The waiter joined me. I'm not a sexy guy. I went to a hooker. I dropped my pants. She dropped her price.
Are they your scripts?
Oh, my doctor, he doesn't give me any respect either. I told him I swallowed a bottle of sleeping pills. He told me to have a few drinks and get some rest. Some dog I got, too. We call him Egypt because he leaves a pyramid in every room.
Good. You know, I never knew what real happiness was until I got married. Then it was too late.
Okay, more impressions.
Okay, you got an impression? Did you like that impression of you, by the way, that someone gave?
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, is he gone? He missed out on our impression. I wanted to have his comment on the impression. I thought it was very good.
I wanted to hear him do an English accent.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we want a really good American to phone in and give us a diabolical English accent. It's not true that married men live longer than single men, and he seems longer. So I've been told. But you can join in as well. It's 01243 55 60 60. We have 9 minutes left of the programme. And then, of course, we're back tomorrow and do it all over again, which can't be too bad. You're very welcome to join in. Or email us, studio@playradiouk.com. Of course, Skype, play.radio.uk, and, of course, watch us for the last 9 minutes on nttbs.com and click the word watch. I don't know, I've got a funny itch in my nose tonight. I go like this all night, and people must think I must have some sort of problem.
Twitch.
I've got twitch.
It's not an itch, it's a twitch.
Yeah, that's the worst thing, by the way, about having these cameras on you, because you can't do anything. You well, I don't normally put my nose on there anyway. But the worst thing, of course, is that if you do go like this all the time, which I've been doing, it's awful. My nose is really itchy. Hello, line 14.
You know, I'm sure that Steve is really Lloyd Grossman, who lives in a house like this.
I like that one. That was very good. You were good, sir. Well done. He gets the prize, unless he can phone up with another really good accent. If you've got a good accent, you'd say 1243 55 60 60. This is the Yank line. We will give you a Yank. Give us the opportunity. What was it? It was called reminds me. Who's the guy, the American, did a really bad English accent? Mary Poppins.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke. Wasn't that the worst English accent ever?
Yes.
That's when I really realised that Americans should never do English accents. You know, I'm going to go that direction now. So I'm doing that way for hours now. I'm not going the other direction. I would just say the camera for doing that. Anyway, I will tell you the story of what happened to me with not me. Sorry, no, it wasn't me. It was a friend of mine who was sent this thing from Faith from the from the sexy toy shop.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not going to tell the story.
You've got to now.
No, I might tell him before the end of the programme. All right. If anyone's ever had a mishap with a sex toy, I'd like to hear about it.
Yeah.
And then I might be able to tell my story.
With
not my story, my friend's story.
With a Hoover or something.
Oh, actually, I've got one. I'll tell you about that after. Hello, this is line 9.
You know, I've totally forgotten what accent I was just about to do.
Well, that was a good English one, though.
Oh, God, I just had it right in my mind. Oh, I know. Afternoon, everybody. Norm!
Yeah, when are you going to start it? was that it? Is that the accent?
That was the accent.
Oh, sorry about that. What's that dog that laughs a lot? It's got a very strange...
Muttley.
Muttley.
That's what you sounded like at the end.
Oh, I can't do it.
No, well, fair enough. Thank you. You got something else for me?
This is Dr. Praise Ukraine. I'm listening.
Oh, well done. Thank you very much. I was getting a bit desperate then. But I shall be very nice. Hello, this is line 2.
Hi, I'd like to do an impression of Ollie.
Go on.
I've got a dirty bum.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm sure he has, actually. This is line 3.
Get out of my pub. Go on, get out of it.
Yeah. Okay, do they get better than that?
Who's that then?
I don't know, I couldn't work that one out.
Is it Peggy Mitchell, maybe?
Oh, I never thought about
Get
that.
out of our pub.
Was it because of my Deidre impersonation? Really, was it, when you think of it?
No, nothing's as good as your
I'm a lady, you know. Not many people can do my lady accent, can they? I'm here to do lady things, you know. Our number's 01243 55 60 60, but I've got long left. Because I'm going in a moment, I've had enough. I'm going. 01243 55 60 60 is my number.
You sound like Dame Edna.
What?
Oh,
I used to do a very good Dame.
That was a very good Dame Edna.
No, I used to do a... No, that wasn't... That was... Wasn't that like a lady one? From Little Britain. Do you think I was that... You didn't recognise it? Excuse me, you didn't recognise my accent from there?
No, I did.
But I did used to have a very good Dame. When I had my proper, strong Australian New Zealand accent, which I did have for a long, long time, I did a very good Dame Heather.
Have a go now.
I can't. Hello, possums. No. No, it's gone. I can't. Do you know, I cannot do an Australian New Zealand accent anymore. Unless I mix with Australians or New Zealanders. As soon as I do that, my accent comes back.
Yeah.
But I worked so hard to get rid of the accent, and I think the Australian accent's not nice. I think the worst accent is the South African accent. That is horrible.
But it's like kids now. It's weird the way they've started talking. The sentences all going up at the end.
Oh, that's Australians, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went up the road, and I suddenly saw, to my surprise... Hello, this is line 6.
Hello, this is Amy Winehouse's nose.
Amy Winehouse's nose. Yes. Did you do anything else?
No.
It's a shame. You can take pills for it, though, these days, so I hear. Fiona, thanks very much indeed. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much. Have a good sleep.
Thank you.
We'll see you back again tomorrow, same time, same place. Thanks to Matt as well, who's fallen asleep somewhere.
Where is he? We've lost him.
I told you he died. We will give you the details of the funeral a bit later on. And we do wish you well. And thank you so much for joining in the programme tonight. We're back again tomorrow, same time, same place, with a load of super-duper guests for you as well. My name's Mike Mendoza. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. You've been listening to Play 2 UK.